42 of God Save the King, the world's greatest monarchist live show. It's just something I'm saying now. We are joined by our guest, Culture Thug, or better known as CT. Well, actually, better known as Culture Thug. I've never heard anybody call him CT. Uh, he is the leader of the New Frontier, which is a political like advocacy group or political party.
Advocacy group. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Oh, did we
Oh
lose you?
no, I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm just making sure everything's running. And I'm gonna close Discord because that noise is getting really annoying. Oh yeah. Okay, so let's see. I had some questions. A bit about yourself, like you in general. What makes Culture Thug?
Um. Well, I guess I got politicized in my early 20s. I'm 44 right now, so it's been a little bit of a long run and like being concerned with politics, but it was, interestingly enough, it was Mein Kampf that got me started. When I was around 20, 21 years old. I was I was into like reading about serial killers because it just always interested me, like how people could be just crazy and just want to kill people. Like what made their mind do that? So I was very interested in that. I remember reading a book about Ted Bundy, and then I heard Hitler had a book, and Hitler had been the most evil person ever, to my understanding at that time. And we all grown up. If you've grown up in America, it's black and white. It's clear as day. It's like it's evil and good. America was Captain America, and Hitler was Doctor Doom, and that's all that it was. It was just
Well,
comic
no,
book
my history teacher was actually pretty neutral on the subject. There's actually a good documentary called "The Rise of." It basically shows the rise of Churchill, Hitler, and Mussolini, and I think Stalin. It's actually pretty neutral, and he always talked about like how Hitler gained power and how these ideologies actually formed.
Oh, that's rare. Yeah, that having a good
Oh, he
teacher
was a
was
young teacher. He was a
rare in
really
public school for sure.
young history teacher. He was just really passionate about history, and he liked me as a student because that's how I became popular in high school. Is that I would sit there and like take up 90% of the class of like just talking back and forth with. I almost said my high school teacher's name. I'm like, oh, that'd be really dumb. Nope. CCT. If I ever get docs, it's gonna be my own fault of just talking.
Yeah, that's how I got doxxed. I doxed myself, so it tends to happen. But so I picked up the book, and well, after I'd learned that this book existed, I was treating it like the Satanic Bible. Like, oh, I get to read the most evilest person alive and hear his words and see how crazy he was. Then, as I started reading the book, I realized he was none of that, and I realized like how much I had been lied to, and there had been certain things about the book that kind of spoke out to me, about my selfishness. I saw this guy who was so concerned with his country and the future of it, and wanted to build this better image of it, and I had none of that in me. I was a selfish person, didn't care about family, didn't care about country, anything. I just cared about myself essentially. So that kind of came out, and then obviously the Jewish question came through. That was something I had never even heard about until reading that. And then also just simply his politics, kind of this combination of kind of collectivism and individualism. And that really interested me in the politics because politics was always white and black to me from the little I understood. I was probably more anarchy minded at the time, but not even into politics just because I just didn't care about shit and like, fuck government, fuck all this kind of
Basically.
mentality. And but then, but I always thought it was white and black. You either had to be, fully Republican or Democrat, fully socialist or capitalist, and seeing some political nuance for the first time interested me in politics, and that's what kind of got the wheels rolling from there. So since I was 20 years old until this day, it's been essentially my obsession.
Wait,
Polit
CT, how old are you?
44 now.
Oh my god, you're old.
I know. Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
So you're a base Gen Xer.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're. Are
Best
you,
generation, Gen X. Yeah.
the best generation is
Last
still
real generation.
the last real generation was early Zoomers, like at
No,
91.
it's already done by the Zoomers. It
No,
was
no,
already
no,
done
no,
by the
no,
Zoomers.
no, no,
Yeah.
no. Like when I was growing up, it was still pretty normal in the 2000s. Like you know,
I
and
mean,
then
it's not like it is today with the smartphones, but it was still like the internet had already like I look at pre-internet, post-internet, pre-internet.
no, no,
Mhm.
we had the early internet, the cool internet, like internet, like Newgrounds, like
Well, it was the
it's
Wild
just-
West.
it was the
Yeah, you could
Wild
do
Yeah.
West,
everything.
like
Yeah.
the people like fucking Nick Fuentes, like I'm super edgy. He's like you don't know shit. Like we didn't even have names. No one like. I mean, I did it a while ago. Took all my names off the internet. It's probably still a shit ton of stuff out there, but I should have went with what I used to do on the internet because it was what you were taught. Is you don't give out your name, you don't give out your address, you don't put anything on there. You know what's on your fucking on the internet? Just you have a handle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up when the internet was still cool. I mean, my friend who is let's call this man Kits, Kit, Kami. I didn't did not about to say my name.
Well, I started making videos on YouTube in about 2006. So I was in early as far as even just making content, and I still got banned within a year, even in 2006,
Wow.
but it was still more wide open. The conversation was a
Wait,
more
what'd you
wide
get banned
open.
over?
Jewish question video. I made a video about good Jews, bad Jews, and I was like, "There's no such thing as a good Jew. They're a Jew before they're good or bad." That's the the argument. So I made a video kind of explaining that, and that's what got me banned. And then
Yeah,
it's just been a process of coming back, making accounts since then. I mean, it's just been a whole
Oh, so
process of it.
so CT's the original band evader.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd be interested to see who was around back then getting banned like over and over again. That's still around. I definitely wasn't the first, but I know back in those days, I don't
I
really
think
see too many people around.
funny enough, one of the earliest videos I watched on YouTube that was political that turned me against BLM was actually because I was a liberal then, and this was like 2010 ish. Well, it had to be around uh the uh the first St. Floyd incident.
2010.
Martin?
That
Trayvon
That's
Martin.
Trayvon Martin. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Is that
and it was
2010?
that
12, I think. Wasn't it 12?
2012.
Yeah, it's a little later. Yeah.
14.
but like
It was right before the 2016 election, I think. So 14, 15 kind of
Yeah.
thing.
yeah, because like it was Stefan Molyneux who actually actually I watched that and he actually laid out all the facts. I was like, oh yeah,
You making lean?
yeah,
That was the revelation that he was buying stuff to make lean, to get high off of.
yeah.
No, he was just a kid with Skittles, right? I thought
Well,
that-
he was like innocent
innocent little
watermelon
kid with
iced tea.
Skittles.
he was a nearly grown adult, but
Well,
Could've
you
been
know
a-
what that is? He beat the shit out of a grown adult. That's the most sad part of it. It's like he had to shoot a kid because the kid was whooping his ass.
Mhm.
I mean, that's fucking pathetic. Is it like any grown man? A kid is whooping your ass so bad you got to shoot him to death. That's a pathetic man. I mean, I got to put that out there too. I mean, that's
Wasn't he an Hispanic guy? Who shot
yeah,
Trayvon?
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
yeah,
Zimmerman.
Zimmerman, yeah.
Zimmerman,
jeez.
but Zimmerman,
Very Hispanic name, isn't it? Zimmerman.
Yeah.
yeah, but because he went through, what I've decided, Ancon he's an honorary Aryan because of what he went through. He got to experience.
Then there's a lot of honorable Aryans out there. If you're talking about victims of black crime, I mean,
yeah, but
I mean,
like
half of Detroit would be.
that's what I'm saying. It's there'd be a
Is
bunch
Kanye
of black
honorary?
Aryans. Yeah, there's a bunch of black Aryans now too. The number one victim of black crime is black people.
Yeah, well,
we better back up this podcast like immediately once we're done because I don't think it'll last.
No, but that's a true statement. They know that.
Yeah.
Majority of victims of black crime.
well, no, like we've said worse things that our podcast is still up. Like we have an entire one dedicated to talk, like two dedicated to talking about Nazism.
Is that video, the original video from 2006, still somewhere? CT?
No, The one of the oldest ones I even have is like a 2009 or 8
No.
video,
Oh,
and
so
um,
good Jews, bad Jews has lost the time.
a
R.I.P.
lot of them are. But even back then, so you could only make 15-minute videos,
I
I
know.
think max. And so how it'd be, it wouldn't even be like making videos. We would have like race debate, Jewish question debate with other people. So you would end up making 40 videos just over something in real life would be an hour conversation because you'd make your video, then the person would reply with his video, and then you'd have to correct
Yeah.
what he, misheard about you, and then you just go back and forth making these videos. So I had
Yeah.
hundreds of videos up
Yeah,
that
it's
I'll never have again.
that's how TJ Kirk got his start. And then it took, I think someone said it took billions of dollars to destroy American Christianity, and it took about a few 100,000 to destroy new atheism. It
I
was
don't get it.
like new atheist arguments don't stand up to actual theologians' actual critiques.
What are new atheists though? Are they different from atheists or
I guess that you would say like Richard Dawkins,
uh
Chris, that shit that died out in like what 2000, like
yeah, there was a little time they're getting there, like they were the Jordan Petersons of their time, and that
True.
yeah.
yeah. Then it turns out they're all sophists and midwits or
Yeah.
or hypocritical Jewish supremacists.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
just
Well, that's
degenerates.
what we're learning about
Mhm.
Jordan Peterson and all that ilk too. I mean, it's all
Oh
kind of the
yeah,
same.
it's funny. The first it's all these like leftists make these critiques of Jordan Peterson, but the best one I've ever seen was from I forget, it's like Defend Europa had like this 30-minute video where it showed like all Peterson's weird fucking ties to the UN and all that. And then all these leftists, I figured out like YouTube just copies what the right says about other people on the right or the grifters on the right, like 5 months later. Like
Yeah.
if you see like a big popular far right video, 10 minutes, like 2 months later, you will find the exact same video made by a leftist.
Yeah. 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 I mean, they are late to it. That's why they lost like with the whole meme war thing, because the right wing was never known for their humor. And just 2016, like they destroyed the left in the meme war. Like the left held the ground on comedy and insulting political comedy and stuff like that. And yeah, the right just came out and crushed them with the memes. And you'd watch the left try to come back with their memes, and it would be just copies off, you know, what some right wing meme or some Pepe meme or something like that.
Well, yeah. I mean, even I'm subscribed to a lot of like YouTubers, and I'm like, all of you make like the same 5 fucking
Yeah.
videos. Like, if I go to like your like CT or like AA, I can at least find different perspectives. I'll find like people talking about libertarianism, fascism, monarchy, distributism, at least making different points about these people's bad arguments.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
like the left, it's all the same. It's like it's not even they don't even really have an understanding of their own ideology of like Marxist Leninism. I mean, they
No,
do, but
yeah. I mean, they're very liberal. I guess it depends which group of leftists you're talking about. But if they're liberal, then no, they have no
no, I mean, they're
understanding of
not even
Marxist
liberal.
Leninism.
Like even like I don't. I've said this on this podcast, but I don't consider like leftism or communism liberal. I consider that a branch off of a different ideology. It's not liberal. Like if someone says like all these people are liberals, like no, they're leftists. Like people like John Locke are liberal. People like what's his name, Ludwig von Mises is liberal. But like these people, like a lot of the nationalists of the 20th century were liberal. They were racialists. All the original liberals were racialists of the 20th century. These people are just leftists. They're just degenerate leftist
Well,
freaks.
my problem is sort of liberalism is so, I guess, ill-defined that if you
It's
read
not
Locke,
ill-defined.
well, if you read, I feel that people like Locke and other kind of liberal original thinkers, they have the seed, they lay the seeds of the destruction of their ideology in the foundation that they set. So I don't think like people like Locke really have much like value beyond a certain
I
degree.
mean, I don't think there's ever going to be a resurgence of liberalism. Like ever.
But you
Like
think liberalism's a good thing? Like I would see as a
I
degeneration.
don't think it's a good thing. I just don't consider it a degenerate. Something always leads to something else. I like communism itself. We've said this, and I've said this. Like, will just collapse on itself because
Right.
it's inherently incapable of creating material happiness, and it's just empty. That's why it doesn't like the Soviet Union. All Hitler would have to done, if you want to be honest, is that do nothing.
Well, that was my argument. And that was also, I think,
Yeah, I'm stealing your arguments,
Yeah,
nation.
no, that's fine. And that was Heidegger's argument. Heidegger
Heidegger's
said,
right.
yeah, I think it was Heidegger. But or
I
no.
like. I
Anyways,
like
he said the greatest mistake that Germany could make would be to attack the Soviet Union because it would destroy both countries.
It
That
did.
going on a crusade against Marxism, although I mean I of course side with the National Socialists for obviously, but just from a sort of pragmatic perspective, the best thing to do would let the Soviet Union rot, because had the Nazis not attacked the Soviet Union, had the Soviets not defeated them, I think that victory kind of gave them sort of 40 years of energy or 40 years of justification to continue on. It enriched the Soviet Union. It sort of sustained it, and that sustenance wouldn't have lasted if the war hadn't happened. But I mean,
yeah.
but hindsight's 2020. Like
Yeah.
you can't.
Yeah. Hindsight's 2020. But back to our guest who were talking over. I guess we went over what are your. How did you get into politics? I guess we went over why are you.
So
Oh, okay. I wanted to ask this because I talked to you, when we sat, like, how I was going to message CT, but I never could figure out how to do it. But, if you, like, it was like, it's like it had to be like 2 weeks ago. Me and him spent like all night insulting a bunch of leftists on Discord. It was
yeah.
fucking great.
Yeah, that was fun. I
It was.
hardly ever hop on Discord, but I do, and I'm bored. I go to the politics Discord, and something's always going on in there, and I'll just sneak in there quietly, and then someone will
We
always
started
recognize
arguing
me.
about Ukraine, and this gay liberal wouldn't shut up, and he wouldn't stop. He tried to beat me in the face, punch Culture Thug in the face. He's like,
he was so
you wouldn't
mad. He
say
was a
your beliefs
moderator
out
there
loud.
too.
I'm like, bitch, I've said my beliefs to my priest. What do you think I'm like? But yeah, I wanted to ask you, like, okay, how did you go to prison?
So yeah, no build up to that at all, huh? Just
jeez.
Yeah. Well, it depends what time. Like, I was out of 3 different incarcerations. I spent 10 years altogether. So first, it was a year in juvenile institution. I was 13 to 14. It was for carrying a gun. I was obviously hanging with the wrong people. Then, at the age of 15, I got certified as an adult and sent to adult prison, and spent from the age 15 to 20 there. That was for a shooting, not just carrying a gun, but shooting a gun at someone. And then, so I get out in 1998, and I'm 20 years old. So just did 5 years in adult prison and can't even like legally buy a beer. I always found that kind of funny. Then I end up, this is all in Nevada. Then I end up going to Maryland to visit a half sister, and I end up catching a case there, a self-defense case, where the guy died. A guy attacked me. He died. And that's when I read that. When I was in the county jails, when I read Mein Kampf. That's the first time, because I was trying to cope in my own head, like, fuck, I might get life, because it was a murder charge at first. So you're looking at life, and even a lot of the deals they came with early on were very bad. And that's when I started reading, and feeding my mind was like, oh shit, if my body's locked up forever, my mind and my spirit won't. So I justified it like that. And that kind of sparked me into really diving into like history and politics, and just trying to feed my brain, essentially. And that's when I stumbled on Mein Kampf, and went down a deep rabbit hole of books throughout my time in there. And I got out in 2004. So that was
when you were in prison, though. Did you ever get invited to join the Aryan Brotherhood?
So there wasn't, in Nevada prison, there wasn't the Aryan Brotherhood. It was Aryan Warriors, A-dubs, as they're called. And no, I'd never, and they weren't really, they were mainly big at the maximum security prison. And I was at the medium for most of my time, then moved to the maximum towards the end of my time. So never officially hooked up with them, but I definitely was what they call a torpedo, a mission boy. Someone owed one of the shot callers money for gambling or drugs. 4 or 5 of us would be sent to go beat the guy up or do whatever, and so which made I took my bit. Like I had a 6-year sentence and I did 5 on it, which means you're doing most of your time. You're fucking up, and I was doing that a lot my first time. My second time in Maryland. We actually started. There wasn't. There was some Aryan Brotherhood members there, but they were all locked down at a maximum security prison. So we created, and there was a Aryan Nations presence on the yard, but we weren't Christian. So we started our own Odinist thing in the Maryland correctional institutions, and we created like an Odinist flavor of our own group, and then which eventually hooked up with, because we got bigger than the Aryan Nations that was on the yard. So then they hooked up with us. And then so no, never joined anything like that, because they were never like, if I went to California prison, I would obviously probably have to end up joining them, because it's a lot more they had a lot more of a presence there, and it's a lot more gang and race mindset than it is at other places. So no, never officially got into anything like that. But I did. So when I got out in 2004, I had been reading a lot of Dr. William Pierce and a lot of like all of my like reading on third position and history of it. Then I got into white nationalism pretty heavy. So get out 2004 to 5, I was involved in like the local white nationalist scenes and all that. Then I just saw like, this is pointless.
Wait, who was around like in 2004? Because
National Vanguard. So National Alliance just split, and
what's
Vanguard
his
is
name?
one of the things.
Was
William Luther Pierce
yeah, William Luther. No, he just died like
in
he
2000.
Yeah, 2002. Yeah.
So let's see.
At that time it was Skinhead Cruise still.
Oh no, what's his name? Not trying to interrupt you, but like the guy who was like the I think they're still kind of around. No, not Mason. Mason's still around doing whatever. Mason's never left. Somehow he's never. I don't know. Like Mason's.
He was never big though. He until just recently he kind of got revitalized. He was gone for a long time.
Yeah, he was revitalized, and the people walking with him stopped walking with him. Ugh. It's a whole mess.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's a whole freak show. That whole scene is a freak show. That's why I got out of it pretty quickly.
The Siege Tards, yeah, that's.
Well, no, even before Siege Tards. I mean, at least when I was in it, it was more IRL shit. Like it was the local Vanguard, National Vanguard. It was the local Southern Nevada skinheads.
Did you have like white supremacist barbecues?
Yeah. Oh yeah, all the time. That was my whole. That's why I started making videos in 2006, because I left that scene, and that was my whole social scene. So then I just, I'd get off work, I'd get online, and then, debate with people or make videos and stuff, because I had freed up time because I left that scene.
Like, I don't have to go to the KKK barbecue anymore.
Yeah, no, they were, dude, the last one. So the straw that broke the camel's back, my current wife, mother of 2 of my children, right? We meet in college, and I remember taking her to there's this big, wig nap party. Skinheads from California is coming in. We got everyone from Nevada in there, and a big house party. And I remember the whole time driving, my girlfriend at the time there was like, the media lies about this and blah, 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 Jewish media, blah, blah, blah. And then so we get there, and just to sum it all up, there was like 4 fights, 2 or 3 stabbings. There was kids crying in the background. Like I had to break up fight after fight and stabbing, like actual stabbing. Police show up, people are running all over the place, people are stabbed. And I was just like, that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. Like, okay, this is.
Wow.
I had planned. I was already kind of mentally out of it, but just didn't like have anywhere else to go, I guess. But that was it. Finally.
I swear that's like me in university. We got a bunch of like friends together, and none of them were like white nationalists or national socialists. But some people were drunk, and I had the TV, so I put on a Luther Pierce speech, the one about Jews and lawyers. And half the people there are non-white. We have the swastika. I have the it's Hitler's personal flag. It's flying, and like no one cares. Oh man, it was.
Well, that's a good environment at least.
It was cozy. It was like fantastic.
Hey, not trying to people is why it's funny. It's like Do my friend asked me, he's like, so you have black friends and like, you now have like black friends, Mexican friends. You still racist? White supremacist? Yep.
Funny how that works. Yeah.
He's like, you're like, why? It's like,
Because like race realism, hence the name is real, right? There are different traits amongst the races, and then once you understand what different groups are predicated to, you can interact with them better. You can have a deeper relationship with someone of a different race if you understand the differences of the races. Not encouraging over fraternization and intermixing, but I mean, just from a practical standpoint.
Wasn't this called like social Darwinism back in the day? I mean, like they even call it race realism now. It's like we classify humans like we classify every other animal and
Yep.
mammal on the earth. It's like
They're
it's
different
just common
behaviors and
sense.
temperaments.
It's just common sense. Yeah. And none of it's absolute. None of it goes, oh, he's black. That means he's A, B, C, D. No, but it is a generalization. That's true. That's why it's like you can't go through there looking at every tree. You got to look at the forest.
It's funny, but like I was working in Philadelphia, and I was just sitting there like I was like, it was on my lunch break, sitting like in this against the side of the building with my tool belt on. This black guy, because I was like, "Hey, dude, can you watch my bike?" And he's like, "Yeah." He went to the corner store. Then we had a long conversation, and I exchanged business cards with the guy. I'm like, "It's like, yeah." I told that to like some of my liberal people I know. It's like, you guys would probably have a worse interaction with black people in the ghettos of Philly than I would. And I'm a white
stole his
supremacist.
bike to get revenge for that meme.
Steal his bike.
Revenge for the meme. Cracker got my bike. Cracker got my bike. They just take off.
Like, yeah, we're busting on you. Bye, fucking. But
revenge.
So CT, when you were part of those groups, did you ever were you aware or do you see sort of Fed infiltration? Because nowadays, like all the KKK and all the groups like that are basically all Feds.
So, like hindsight 2020, as I analyze that back, I think I have for sure, but that not so much into like there was a guy who came from Arizona federal prison. He was a Hammerskin, and he was when he came into the Nevada scene, he was very toxic, just with everything. And this guy was getting people to do reckless shit, and he would never get locked up. He would get locked up and get out of jail. And then didn't think about anything about then, but like reflecting on it some time ago, I was like, that was interesting. This guy just kind of came in and then disappeared too, but wrecked all this shit and got people in a lot of criminal activities and then just kind of disappeared and never really got locked up again. Nothing like that. So I don't know if I don't know if his whole Arizona prison thing was a lie. I don't know if they turned him as he got out or whatever. I don't know what it was, but that's the only thing. Oh, as far as like that was infiltrated, but we had people like we'd go flyering campaigns and people would come meet up and they would be like, I need to get a gun. This black guy's messing with my wife. I need to get a gun. And we'd be like, there's gun stores all over the place, man. Go get your gun. It's like, no, but I need one now. You'd see people like that. And then, so I remember this guy in particular, he comes with this story, all this shit. And then we hand him a stack of flyers. We go around to all the cars. We're in like parking lots at malls and stuff, putting the flyers on the car windows. And then the guy just, he drops his stack and leaves. So it's like, it was obvious he was trying to incriminate people. So you would get people that would try to incriminate you, but it was pretty obvious. The only person only instance I can think of in our local scene where something was fishy was that guy I was talking about from Arizona. But outside of that, yeah, you would see attempted infiltration. But sometimes it'd just be so obvious. They'd want you to commit a crime right away as soon as they met you. And you're just like, the hell, come on, guys, get better agents, get better rats. What are you doing? I mean, it's
well, that's the whole thing is like, they like it's like with the 09A Satanist stuff. I was like, that's so obvious. Like, do you think it's like I get like Wodenism because I've met a lot of those like esoteric Hitlers. Like, but do you guys? Does the FBI not have like 10 minutes to like look through like countercurrents or like American Renaissance or anything?
Yeah, they're never going to have the best member, right? You're never going to have someone who's like, damn, man, that guy did everything. He showed up for everything. He had great ideas. He stood there all night with us rolling flyers. And yeah, that will never be the Fed. Like the guy who's putting in work and passionate and coming up with good ideas, like that will never be your Fed. That's one thing for sure. Like these people, they come in there and they do what's basically required of them, if that. And they're always trying to get, personal conversations and get you to break the law somehow in front of them. And so I think, I don't think they put too much of an art into really learning. Like, even, I don't know if you guys saw the videos where I showed when the feds came to my door, and then we're like questioning, like they pulled me out, they questioned my kids, my wife about my politics and all this. And even on the video that I played, like it's them interrogating my wife because they had me like all the way down the street, so I wasn't on the camera. But even them, he's like, well, I don't know much about this third position or fascism. I'm like, then why the fuck you harassing me and over this when you don't even know what politics I hold or anything like that, and you're sweating my kids and my wife on this.
When I get raided by the feds, I'm gonna come to the door in the most like I gotta find like the most ostentatious monarchist uniform, just like over the top, and telling them, "I do not recognize thou's authority. You're not of the sovereign."
In your best old English, yes.
Please vacate thy premises. I need to speak to you can speak to thine legal representative.
You should couple that with the whole sovereign citizen routine.
Look, I'm going to say the sovereign citizens are the most legitimate libertarians because they don't even accept the existence of the state. Like, libertarians will pay taxes. Like, the sovereign citizens say what you will, but they don't.
It was illegal for America to succeed from England. That's their premise. No, that essentially, I mean, they follow what, the Articles of Confederation?
I don't know. I'm not a sovereign citizen.
Because they reject the Constitution. It's some weird political alchemy that they have.
There's actually surprisingly a large amount of black sovereign citizens.
Ugh. Yeah, like that guy who in Wakinisha. Isn't he one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Was he really?
Yeah.
The guy that ran over all those people?
Yeah.
Yeah, Daryl Brooks.
He was a sovereign citizen, really?
Yeah, there's a lot of black sovereign citizens.
I mean, I find that silly too, that whole scene, but it's the videos are funny of cops pulling them over and them just hitting them with all their rights.
To be fair, like a lot of the times they get out of it.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I'm like, I should learn this shit. Like, as an ex-felon, I'll never argue with a cop. I know how the game.
Like, am I being detained? You're like I don't feel like dealing with you people.
Yeah. Just keep asking them, am I being detained? Am I being detained? Then you must let me go.
You know what? I've taken over the courtroom. He's abandoned the ship. But that's the thing, is the reason I say that they're more effective libertarians, because they cause more problems for the state and are more effective at bringing the state down than the libertarians.
Oh, yeah. Libertarians do nothing. They're basically like, what
they like talking. I mean, I'm friends with. I've had a lot of them on the show. They really do.
My best friend is one. Yeah, one of my best friends is one.
They're really smart people, and almost all of them are well put together people.
And they think everyone else is like that, and that's where they're wrong.
Yeah, that's every libertarian knows. Like, they're all like really successful multimillionaires. As like, most people aren't like that, dude.
No,
and they are. Of all the factions, the dissident right, they're the most normal group of people.
I would agree.
I mean, they're not even dissident. I wouldn't say they're dissident.
They're not dissident. They're not dissident. I agree with that too.
Like, I'm gonna give props to my friend.
We're in a weird, we're in the extreme fringes though. So what we're considered and the circles we know
I'm not a fringe extremist. Monarchy is a perfectly normal form of government.
And you tell that to anyone walking out the street, like, yeah, this guy's fringe extremist.
If I tell that to anybody who's not from the United States, it's perfectly normal. And if I went to Saudi Arabia, it's like, yeah, monarchy. They're like, oh yeah, or if I've told anybody in Liechtenstein or lots.
You know what the problem is though? We're in America. That's the problem. We're in America.
We are not in America. We are in New Anglia. I'm changing. I'm coming up with new idea. I've come up with the idea. There's this guy who made this Pan Anglo Union. I'm on support of that, of the Pan Anglo Union. So England is old. The UK is old Anglia.
This is New Jerusalem, if anything.
No, we're not going with the early colonist stuff. That is weird. That was all weird.
New Jerusalem, baby.
New Jerusalem.
What did Washington say about the Jews? Wrote them a nice letter, I think.
Who did?
Was it Washington or Madison? One of the early presidents or founders wrote a letter saying how great the Jews were and how we're a common
Yeah.
people.
No,
Yeah, they're
we.
sycophants.
Oh,
They're Judophiles for sure.
No, no,
A
no, no,
lot of
no,
the
no. I think the
forefathers.
founding fathers' whole thing is like this. This is New Jerusalem,
right.
Yeah.
and like that
Do
was
you,
all the early like
And
Protestants.
they were right. Look at America today. They were right.
Yeah, we're great. I mean,
so
we were great for a bit.
so CT,
Yeah.
what's your take on Yawkey and his view on
Actually,
America and I guess like eventual Soviet American synthesis and the far right
yeah.
and like that?
Yeah, I actually think like he's an undervalued person, intellectual, in America, and it's sad. But I have to say, I think he was ahead of his time, especially how he analyzed because at his time, remember, it was a Red Scare, right?
Yeah.
And even the far right wing people, everything was super anti-communist, and
Right.
he had the foresight. He's like, well, no, this is, he started seeing what was going on in Soviet Russia. It was more national than any other country.
No, it wasn't.
They were executing Zionists
Right.
in that country, nowhere else, right? Things like that. And he would see that. And then he would also believe like it was, he believed a strong Russia would always make a strong Europe because they would always have to defend against it. He was wrong there, unfortunately, because as Europe decayed away, even while Russia remained somewhat a powerhouse until the 80s, really. I also really go, I got to say, I'm a believer in what he and Avola um, really championed, which is the concept of like the spiritual race.
Right.
And to me, like as I got out of like my biological materialism with white nationalism, and like the more I was just feeding, and I realized that's how I've been my whole life. I've always cared more about a man's character than
Right.
his outer shell. So I was like, how did I get caught into? I was so disappointed in the white nationalist scene because I put white people on a pedestal, and I was like, oh no, there's a bunch of fucking
No, no,
trash
no, no,
here.
no, no.
Yeah,
See,
degenerates. Yeah,
the
well, yeah,
Well, I'm just telling you
well,
the white nationalist mindset as
yeah,
you go
no,
into it.
right.
You're putting white people on a
yeah,
pedestal.
well, yeah. I actually, there's a good song by the People Haters, "Pull the Trigger on White N Words."
Yeah,
Well,
Sargon is right
well,
about that. He was right all
but the
along.
people
well,
haters were those too. That's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
Well, no, and I've always maintained that I think like that I even before I read Evola and before I read Yaki, but especially Evola, I argued that I think every race has a spiritual quality, has a certain predilections to certain things, and my view of like white people was that we're more inclined to reason, and the problem with reason is that you can rationalize almost anything, any degeneracy, any immorality. Like you take a black guy from sub-Saharan Africa, they're not really so great on the reason thing, but they have an intrinsic sense that okay, well, sodomy isn't going to be beneficial, or these immoral things aren't going to be beneficial to our people. So it's
Yeah,
like it's less so about
You
supremacy,
eat the
this or
poo
that. It's
poo.
more no, exactly right. But for white people, it's like oh, we have all the reason why eating the poo poo is beneficial for
yeah.
our people.
Like I
Ten
said, you can
So
reasons you
rationalize
should eat the poo
anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
poo.
yeah, reason's a
It's
wonderful tool, but it's not the be all and end all of being.
Yeah, and then when you even look at what like Hitler was doing, it wasn't simply about and Caggiano's critique of Hitler was he's too materialist.
Right.
So and there is that aspect to it, but at the same time, they were about building like the Overman, right? So they
Yeah.
really did put into building better character and building that spirit up. They were just doing it within the German population or the Scandinavian
No,
population. They are
and
I,
that's true. And none of our leaders are builders. That's the issue. None of
no,
our leaders have
exactly.
a
yeah,
goal, and it's
I,
because they're
Yeah.
democratic.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
Because the
Except Elon Musk.
snake oil
Except
salesman.
yeah.
No,
And
Elon
I
Musk is no good
well,
either.
no,
Let's not
no, no,
fall
no,
for
no, no,
this.
no, no. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't. No. I don't like Elon Musk. I'm just saying though, why people on the right like him. This
Oh,
is
yeah,
why I think
yeah.
people are attracted to him is because they see him as the guy with the vision, with the plan. His plan is
Well,
to go to space,
that,
merge with technology. He has a vision for the future.
that's what
Stinking
I do
Biden
like
doesn't have a
about
vision
him.
of the future. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
and that's why I admire him too. Like
yeah.
I have a series in my writing called "The Archetypes of the Antichrist," and it's not in particular like the essential view is that look, like the Antichrist type figure are the people that we're going to be inclined to follow
I
because
can't
they're
hear.
the people. What?
oh no, I'm just not getting it a word in edgewise. Am I?
Sorry, I'll cut it off. Sorry, yeah, you go, Loyalist.
No, 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 no. Oh,
Well, anyway, anyways, my view is that, so like the thing same with like Trump and figures like that, right? The people who are going to do the most damage to us, who are going to lead us astray, are those who are going to be the most appealing to us in the short term, which is why we have to be above those kinds of those sentiments and look at things dispassionately. So yes, like I can admire what Elon Musk has done as an industrialist. I can admire what he does in the culture, but I mean, I'm not going to hitch my wagon to him because I don't trust his. I mean, ultimately, I don't trust him, and
Yeah,
we shouldn't trust him.
no. But I agree with everything you just said. I've same reasons I like about him. Like what you said, he has that Faustian kind of drive as far
Yeah.
as trying to expand and go further. But then at the same time, he's in the sixth system, so he's hooked up with all these people too.
Yeah.
I forgot to insult Yaki.
You can bring it back. You can bring
I
it
mean,
back.
I don't like Yaki. I don't view anybody who would work for Soviet intelligence or this that you're going to have some sort of thing with a such a thing as like this strong Soviet thing. The Soviet Union, oh, they were executing Zionists. It's because they viewed them as imperialists and an
Yeah,
extension of a European colonialism. I honestly, because I'm a strict reactionary, I don't see the. I think the Red Scare was justified. I didn't think went far enough. I think McCarthy should have been empowered to just root these people out, and I don't think they should be executed. I've also come up with the most humane solution of dealing with all these communists of the 50s. They should have been rounded all of them up and deported to the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union would have most likely executed all of them because they were working for the KGB, but it would no longer be our problem. We should have taken the same thing with the civil rights protesters. We should have rounded them
I,
up and deported them to the Soviet Union. They want to deal with deal with these people. Let them. Here you go.
Loyalist, to just to push back for just kind of a second, I think that there's a certain reality to power that and to a degree, that's of course I'm a monarchist obviously, but the way power exerts and acts in the world, it almost doesn't matter what your ideology it is, be it socialism,
No, it
Stalinism,
does.
whatever.
It very much. You can get blinded by ideology, but
Sure.
the
And power,
fundamental.
I would say power, and this is an argument I made in an article. I think power is inherently paganish, and I think power is inherently right wing. So it's not too far afield to see right wing thought and right wing action in the Soviet Union. Now that doesn't mean we become Soviets and we become traitors to our own nations, but I mean I
I
just
don't.
think
I don't see the reasoning behind like agreeing with the Soviet Union on anything. What we should have ignored it and as we said earlier, let it
what if this
fall.
what if the Soviet Union took Turkey or took well, I don't know. I guess it's kind of dumb to play games like that. But I
Like the
mean,
Soviet Union, as we're seeing with Russia now, like they were never really a match for the US militarily. Towards like the latter half of the 80s and 90s, US was just so much more militarily advanced in them that besides the nukes, they would have been crushed in a conventional war against the United States. Oh my god, stop texting me. Sorry, that's my.
jeez.
But yeah, that's the thing. And the thing people, it's like, what's your, like, all these socialist revolutionaries, like I don't like any of them. I don't view myself as a socialist. I don't view myself as saying, well, they do these things that I kind of agree with. That's not good enough. It's like Putin banning things with the gay rights stuff. That's not good enough. Like that, like besides all the other stuff he does, that is not going to make me support him. I don't really support anybody outside of the Anglosphere. I
And that's
don't.
fine. But I
But
mean, when he does something like that, you can say, well, that's a good thing he's
that's a
doing.
good thing. But that doesn't mean people deserve our support. Like all our interactions on the right has to have some mutual benefit. Like say, like talking to Haas, he was going to be on this show. I'm never going to let him on the show because I've come up with this: we're not allowing communists on the show besides Nate.
But different like European nations will have different interests. So you're
They
always gonna have
do.
to pick and you're always gonna have to
Well,
pick and
like
choose at one point.
America's interests really don't align with most of Europe's. We have our own trade, our own resources. Like, if we're going to be honest, like, I don't support NATO, but our interests and Russia's interests are not the same interests. Like, we have interests that are opposed to Russian interests. Like
Well,
especially in the Bering Straits and a lot of the Arctic stuff, the U.S. and Russia have competing interests, and that's the thing. Is like I view the world as I think the neo-realists are right. Is that we should that geopolitics is self-centered and countries do what's in their own interests. But
well,
it's like with Yaki. It's like Yaki wants to create this like weird fusionism of like these different views of thought between like Sovietism and it's masculine. And we've had this discussion with Nate, and I say, yeah, the Soviet Union is very masculine, but again, it's still engaged in psychological warfare against the United States, and I cannot support a country that did that. And it's like Putin and the same thing. It's like why do no one should take a former KGB agent seriously as a someone you should be agreeing with.
so
Like
someone take a former CIA director as a serious
no,
politician?
no, they shouldn't.
Hmm.
You shouldn't trust like secret
Spooks.
societies, spooks. You shouldn't trust spooks of any kind. Like you really shouldn't trust spooks. Like you shouldn't trust Russian spooks, Chinese spooks, or any state-funded media. It's all going to be pushing the ideology, which is the ideology of that country's ruling class, and that's it. Like NPR pushes what the ruling class of the United States agrees with. Russia Today does
Right,
what
but
it does.
if you had a ruling class that supported what you wanted, then you would support that ruling class.
No, even
So you always denounce the ruling class.
no. I always denounce people who are enemies of the U.S. regardless of what the state of the U.S. is or is not. Because again,
So
if I'm going,
you would support like a gay communist U.S. over a rightist, I don't know, alternative country.
I mean, wouldn't support. I mean, I would, but simply because what Cadrano says, I fight for the nation, not for the government.
So then you'd push for secession then.
No, I don't support secession. I support secession simply as a political means of weakening the centralized government of the United States. I don't have a problem with what the US government has right now. I think it's poorly done, and there could be a bit more things that could be done better on a state level, but I don't have a problem with the US as its current power. I've said this. But back to our guest and my
No, I'm
feelings.
having fun listening to you guys go back and forth.
But yeah, that's my critique. Like Yaki, I think you should. I think if you are not willing to fight for your nation at its darkest hour, then you're. It's easy. Like it would be easy to be a nationalist, American nationalist in the 1910. It'd be super easy. I guess you would be fighting against Wilsonism, but it's not as hard as it is now. Like to go out there and say what we say and do what we do is hard. Especially like I mean, I feel bad for Nation. He's Canadian, so like I couldn't sit there in Canada. Like again, like
Well, and my perspective is that of a Canadian. So when I see that my country is bringing in like 500,000 Indians and Africans every year now, right? So I can't be loyal to the state. I can be loyal to the nation. I can be loyal to, my people. But I mean, Canada as a sovereign political entity, I don't think should exist anymore. I think it should be broken up. And I
I,
think that,
I think
my
America
nation,
should liberate it from this.
I
This
don't want to be
should,
part of American. I don't want to deal with your
but you'd have
blacks and
gun
your
rights.
Hispanics and that's actually true. He just banned all our guns
Deny the
essentially.
Holocaust.
I can deny the Holocaust and have guns, but I have to deal
Yeah.
with I have to deal with Chicagoans,
What? You look? I'm gonna be honest.
Californians.
I've had to deal with Mexicans. I'm gonna
Yeah,
like Indians. Indians. I cannot stand Indians over all other people. I like
yeah.
Indians and Pakistanis. Most
And
annoying group of people on the face of the planet. Cheap motherfuckers, and they admit to being cheap. Like there's that
well,
one comedian, but I've dealt with Indians. They literally just like, yeah, we're the Jews of the East. I'm like, yeah. I don't
well,
know
I'm
why you
being
say that.
I am being somewhat facetious, but like for Canada, right? If I want my people to survive, if I want my children to survive, the only hope we have is either like succession or a takeover and replacement of the elite in Ottawa.
Well,
That's really the only options.
I mean, I fully support nations for a dictator, Obergruppenführer of the Canadian people, the
Canadian
Canadian.
People's Republic
Why did I say
under
that?
Maxime Bernier.
Yeah, Maxim
Uh,
Bernays Canadian People's Republic.
Ugh.
That they are allies with Great China against the Great Satan.
Ni hao. CT, what is your
Yeah.
view of America's sort of influence in Europe and America's, I guess, leadership and, I mean, I would say cultural colonization at the very least of Europe?
Yeah, I'm pretty opposite of what the loyalist was arguing. I think like when he says our strategic interest, it's not. It's the CIA's strategic interest. It's the elite strategic interest. Like we've never benefited from any war this country's been in my lifetime. No American citizen has. A working class citizen has at least. So yeah, I think we are the big Satan essentially. We are the corrupter of the world. As we are Pandora's box that's been opened on the world, and everyone wants to replicate what America has done, and that's the scariest part of it all. Is everyone wants to follow our lead. And it's not to say when I look around the world, I don't see any countries that I would say, oh, this is a great country or a great leader here or anything like that. So I don't think that exists either. I'm not Putin sycophant or anything like that, or any other leader, but I just know we are the major corruptors. And so it's hard to support anything we do when you know we're the major corruptors. So we're kind of stuck in a dilemma. Yeah, I
Well,
love
I
my
think
nation, but hate my government, but our government represents us. So it's
Well,
yeah.
Well, I think it's sort of. Let me sort of let you speak just 1 second. I think it's interesting you said there's no one to look to because that would speak to how everything's just degenerating. How we're in the Kali Yuga, everything has
Yeah.
to kind of come to an end, so there can be a political rebirth.
Color
Well,
Yuga. Have you been hanging out with? Have you been looking to the Savitri Deval
oh,
archive?
the
Debbie.
Diwali's great. No,
Yeah.
but it's a good. It has explanatory power. Like I don't want to say the apocalypse or the revelation. Like like 'cause it's a cyclical kind of thing. It
Say
has
the
explanatory
revelation like a
power.
good Christian white man.
Oh yeah, okay. It's the Mashiach is coming, and
No. None of that's coming. But
no. Well, that's the thing. Well,
uh,
I I
you
I
know,
like Kali Yuga because
the
it's cyclical
Jew
and
is using the Negro as muscle. We at the American White People's Party support you, good Christian, law-abiding white folk. The Blues Brothers is unironically based for that one scene. As
Hmm. Yeah,
the
I didn't
National
see it.
Socialist White People's. It's funny because right before Rockwell was assassinated by
memory
the
eternal.
FBI agent, I have no proof of this. One of the things he was about to do was drop the whole Nazi shtick and just go like more racialist. That was one of the things he was about to do. Honestly, a lot of people hate Rockwell. I love Rockwell. I think he would have become like actually broken through the mainstream. He was the American Hitler, really was.
Yeah,
It was
no, I've enjoyed reading his book.
well, his speeches are great. Like
Yeah,
Rockwell's just a great speaker. Like he really is.
yeah.
Like
The vaudevillian upbringing he had.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. That
I
went a
s-
long
s-
way. His theatrics were too much for me. I
Yeah,
think he was a brave man, but I also think he was a fool in many aspects. And
yeah.
he was killed by an ex-member, not a Fed.
Okay, the
Ex-member,
guy was
Mediterranean
fed.
ex-member,
Fed.
Mediterranean ex-member who they made fun of. And
He was annoying. I'm gonna say that guy's a Fed because he got 20 years for premeditated
assassination. Yeah. Yeah, they
premeditated
went very light on him.
yeah,
Yeah.
for a guy who committed
But
premeditated first degree murder in the
Yeah.
60s, which would get
the
you the death
Propped up
penalty.
on a
but
rooftop. Yeah.
but
Yeah,
the
on a
regime.
rooftop,
Yeah,
who happened to know where he was, and then later said he should have been marching with Martin Luther King. By the way, he's still alive, and his address is public knowledge.
Oh, that
Not
doesn't
s-
matter.
okay.
Thomas Martinez is still alive.
yeah,
The
yeah.
guy
I'm not.
ratted
I'm
out.
not saying anything. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Well, I'm just saying, it
I'm just
doesn't matter
saying.
what you say. Ain't no one doing anything. I mean,
Yeah, I know no one's. I'm not encouraging to do
no, you
anything.
can encourage all you want. Ain't no one doing anything.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
know no one's
reality
going to
of
do
it.
anything. Everyone's a pussy. But wait,
I
you trying
know.
to get me to incriminate
No, I'm just
myself?
saying that I'm just showing the patheticness of that scene is because yes, they're martyrs. A lot of their martyrs, the people that betrayed them or killed them, are like doing TV deals and going around, and you can find their addresses very
Yeah,
easy online, and
Or like
I'm
they've
saying
been
or
unmolested all this
you know,
time. So
yeah, I'm
or
saying
Pierce's son. what
Yeah,
Pierce's son did to him after the fact.
yeah, you
Or the
know,
Looking
book he
back.
all
wrote
I'm
on him.
saying is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
people who say fuck your optics and all that shit, much better idea. Not telling you to do anything or not do anything. I'm just saying there's much better things to be doing with if you're going to do something along those lines that we do not support you doing.
Well, that's what's interesting. When we even talk about the mentality of what exists, you look at like the years of lead in Italy, and you
Well,
see
Right.
there.
that was contrived. Like that was allowed to happen, so the center left and the center right can
So
maintain power.
you had gladio operations, yeah, going on at that time, but you also had people putting in car bombs, things like this, doing political assassinations,
Well, they should
and
have not done that. Like what they should have done is
they,
just let the communists do that to them, and then just played the sympathy part. Like we're just peaceful people
no, that
spreading
doesn't
the good
work.
message of
That doesn't work.
Yeah.
fascism, and we're being attacked for it.
How'd that work out for Caggiano? It
It
didn't work
worked.
out too
I
good.
mean, the Iron Guard won in the end.
No, they
So,
didn't.
Well,
No, they
they
didn't.
well,
no.
technically they did.
Antonescu wiped them out. Antonescu,
Okay, Antonescu isn't like direct. There's a lot of conflict in the Romanian fascists.
mhm.
Well, not even fascists. I don't think they
What
ever
I mean
call.
though is like Caggiano was like staunch on we're not going to feed into this violence. We're martyrs for our cause. We're martyrs for Christianity, and it's like pseudo Gandhi approach, right? But or Gandhi was a Caggiano approach, let's say. But yeah, that ended up with what him being strangled, mutilated, and put in a nameless grave
And
by.
now, and now,
I
and
mean,
now, and he's considered a martyr in the Orthodox Church.
Not
is in
officially.
Romania. I
Yeah.
was going to say I've never heard that. That would be
I, I,
impressive.
I, I, I have an icon of him. I am Orthodox. I made a custom icon, but
Yeah, we have all
yeah.
Orthodox Christians have good Orthodox Christians have an icon of Saint Contriano, defender, patron, holy martyr of Romania.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna get in trouble for saying that, but I'm gonna say it anyways.
When you get baptized, finally, you can be. I want to take the name Cornelio as my. You should do that.
Saint Court.
He's definitely my favorite person in all third position
Okay,
history.
yeah, so that's why you should become Orthodox.
No, I won't do that, but
Okay,
or any kind of Christendom, but
okay, I'm gonna
you know what? I might if the way to battle the Jews now is to get religious, I might have to. I might have to
you should
convert.
look, no, CT. I'm not gonna say you should do this, but you should be like, like those Southern televangelists, be like, and the Jews say,
Yeah.
smacked down by the Lord, preach, brother. Like a
Yeah, that
really
might have to
shouty
be the fight.
Baptist.
Yeah.
How come we've never had like a national socialist like that in America? Like a really like staunch Southern Baptist. We need one of those. I
Well,
could get behind.
they had
There was
preachers
that
like that in the
Catholic guy.
30s. Yeah, Father Coughlin. There was another guy
yeah.
too.
Fulton Sheen.
The silver. No, he wasn't really far right.
No, Fulton Sheen was really far right. Like if you listen to
Really?
Fulton Sheen
Yeah.
talk, he shit. He's like, he has like he is a great speaker. Like Fulton Sheen, he's like
I know he cucked with Vatican II though. He kind of like
okay, not everyone needs to stop it with this. Actually, I don't care. I'm not Catholic. Why am I defending Fulton Sheen?
Who was the Silver Legion guy?
Anton
William
Pillay.
Pelly.
Ah, yeah.
I always thought it was
he
Anton Pillay. I
alright.
don't know why I'm getting that.
Anton
Thinking of
LaVey,
Anton.
because he's kind of in the same ballpark as Anton LaVey was. Too,
Oh,
so.
Anton LaVey is actually more conservative than your average Republican. That's sad.
No, Anton LaVey was a libertarian.
No, but like he hated gays. He said that.
Yeah, but anyone who was sensible, like I mean,
that just shows like when the leader of the Satanic Temple is more like you look at him and he's more socially conservative. Even like the guy who founded Screw Magazine hated the gays and like all the
Jew.
Is a Jewish pornographer is more conservative than your average Republican politician. That's saying something. That's saying something.
This is the fault of big tent politics. We're now allied with a Satanist and a pornographer Jew.
Well, that's what I say that that's what happened in the alt-right. That the big tent doesn't work. You need to have a coherent worldview, and you can't have we hate neocons. Like, what was the alt-right? I wasn't around then.
Well, I know you don't like him, but Academic Agent has proposed the sensible centrist idea, where you basically take all the ideas that we espouse and you just clout them as, oh yeah, these are the sensible views, the centrist
They
views.
are the
So you,
sensible views.
yeah.
The,
So you abandon the far right aesthetics and far right
no, we
labels.
don't abandon the far right aesthetics. We have great uniforms, and we're keeping the uniforms. Anybody who says that you can't walk around if you don't, but you got to get the nice uniforms. If you're gonna do that, go with like the Hugo Boss, and you got to do it right though. Like that whole thing, I don't actually think like goon marching is ineffective. It makes you look intimidating, and it makes your politics look cool and fun. That's the thing. There's an article that was written by this leftist saying he was critiquing leftists, and an American Futurist republished it. By the way, go read that. Anybody watching, I like that publication. Yeah, I read a siege publication. Sue me.
CT, are you
Yeah.
familiar with Thomas 777?
No.
Because he's also done time, and he's also a National Socialist. He's big on historical revisionism. He's writing a book on the Nuremberg trials and how they were a complete farce.
Yeah.
Yeah. Irving's done a book on that
Yeah.
as well. That people should check out on the Nuremberg trials too. He highlights a lot of the torture and a lot of
Yeah.
the things going on behind the scenes. So yeah, good on this Thomas guy.
You should. Well, he's a lawyer by trade, but as I said, he did time and was kind of. I don't know. You should really touch base with him. I think that would be a
Yeah,
fantastic kind of.
I told CT you should reach out to Ancon. It's
Yeah.
right. We've had him on the show like 3 times, 2 times. It was supposed to be 3 times, but the second time scheduling issues. And you should also have Godmin's on your podcast.
So, CT, what are your, since you're not a Christian, what are your metaphysical views, spiritual views?
I guessed. I always say agnostic. I just believe I don't know. But I guess the deist. At the end of the day, I do believe in some supernatural. I just haven't been convinced of any particular God or creation story in my life. Like nothing has really spoke to me. And literally read the Bible front to back. I've read half of the Quran. I read a lot of pagan stuff from Vikings, Romans, Turks, all kinds of different things, Zoroastrianism, etc. So I'm not like a untraveled person in the thought of religion. I just I don't buy into any of it as far as a particular brand of religion.
You just need to read the Talmud. That'll sort you out.
I've read people's pointing out quotes from the Talmud. I've gone that far, but
which part of the Talmud? It's like 900 books.
I know, right? Yeah.
I don't think anybody's actually read the full Talmud. It's just loyal.
Oh no, there's some crazy ass Orthodox rabbis that probably have.
I know. I've run into them in Philadelphia, and New York when I was doing construction.
Oh yeah, see that—that's a whole weird world for me too. The Orthodox communities, this. Yeah, you don't see.
Yeah, they're weird.
That. Yeah, you don't see that anywhere, but you hear New York and yeah.
Yeah, they're weird. They're weird people. Like even for Jews, they're weird people.
Yeah, but those are the ones I actually like the best because you know exactly who they are. They know who they are, and there's no game around it.
It's like they're making it very easy.
Well, back when I had Facebook, I had one of those Jews contact me, and I had Kadriani was my profile, and I talk about Jews and stuff, and he said, "Oh yeah, no, I like Hitler, and we like Hitler because he killed off all the weak Jews so that we could come to the West and take over everything." This Jew literally said this, and I have the receipts, I have the pictures.
Yeah, no, there's rabbis who have speeches on YouTube you can find, Orthodox rabbis who say Hitler was from God to punish the Jews from getting away from their religion. And it's this is a common belief amongst Orthodox rabbis. They believe he was just another punishment from God because they got away from their religion. So, yeah.
A Jewish guy growing up told me that actually. He was more of a reformed, he was a conservative Jew. And shit, I got banned off Twitter. Fuck you, Musk, by the way.
You got banned under Musk.
Yeah.
Just recently?
Yeah, I think it
well,
was I kept posting quotes in I kept posting memory TV memes in response to homosexual stuff. What is the solution for those problems is beatings. I was like, I got a good run of it,
oh,
but
maybe you got further than you could have before Musk took over.
I did. Like, I didn't get in any trouble. I used to just like, but I guess it was probably all those times I just said Arabs are disgusting. That we need to cleanse Turkey of Islamic filth.
Cleanse Turkey of it. You're way behind on that one, my friend. That's done. That is done.
Nope. I'm not giving. I was reading.
It's called Istanbul.
I'm
Okay,
gonna, I'm gonna, I'm
Istanbul.
gonna, I'm gonna,
Ah,
I'm gonna,
no,
I'm gonna find
it's
you.
gonna be Zargrad.
Why would it be Zagreb? Like, it just be Constantinople. Why would someone change the name?
No, I don't know. It's a way of exerting ownership.
Like,
You
if
know,
Nicholas
you
II
get married,
was
your name.
never
So it works.
deposed, and the Russians came out of the Second World War One mainly unscathed. So Nicholas II would just I don't know the Russian
He was a
Empire.
pussy though. Nicholas II.
I'm gonna no do not
He
even
was a
in my
pussy.
presence. Do not.
Hold on. What?
He's
His wife didn't run him.
no.
Yes.
Nicholas II was not a bad czar.
I would.
If he was a bad czar, he wouldn't have had a
He was
revolution on
no.
his hand.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. He was.
He was not ready to be
He
czar.
wasn't. He wasn't a strong czar.
You can definitely. He wasn't
There
ready
was
to be
worse
czar.
czars
Yes.
than Nicholas II. Like,
No,
really
there
was.
were, but he
No, there were.
He didn't
Yeah,
have the
no one's saying he's
wherewithal.
worse.
Like he needed to have the ability to have an iron fist when a time called for it, and he didn't. He was too.
He wasn't his
passive
father. He
and
wasn't Peter
No.
the Third.
Yeah, and that's why he had the revolution.
that-
Again,
that's
like,
all-
And then he fucked up too because when he didn't need to have an iron fist, he did, and they massacred a bunch of peasants protesting
those were
before
all
the
dirty
communist
shit.
revolution.
yeah.
What,
well,
the Red Square
that was one of
Massacre?
his guards.
those
Those
people.
were one of Those, that
Yeah,
was
it's
one of
not
his
him, but it
adjutants,
reflects on
yeah.
him.
Well,
But
does.
it always comes down
that's
to him,
the-
right?
Yeah,
That's
the
the whole
buck
thing.
stops with him.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That's
with
monarchy, baby. It stops with the king. That's
that's
the only thing I like about monarchy.
Well, that's
in
the whole
fact,
thing with
is
monarchy.
You
It's
know
an
who to
honest
blame.
system of government. You blame the people who actually fucked up instead of blaming yourselves. It's a deflection. I've said this several times. Like, all liberalism is and democracy is, you deflect the blame
Yeah.
onto the people. It's like, we voted for this guy. It's like, no, that guy fucked up. Get that guy. Like, Bush should have been Bush should have been crucified for what he did to people. Like, same thing with like Obama. Like people, like, you know what I can respect about like the people who in Portland who were burning down that courthouse. At least they found the correct, like, what actually was in charge. Like, at least they can figure out that, oh yeah, the government is the people who are implementing these policies. I don't like Dave Smith, but he made a good point. He's like, I wouldn't care if BLM are burning down government buildings. Like, yeah, that's a good point.
They should burn down the Federal Reserve.
Well, they do the small targets, but no, that is a good point. If people in January 6th was really more like Antifa, they would have burnt that place down instead of walking within the velvet ropes.
Well, the thing is, I said it last week, and I said I was talking to you, but like, people want Trump. Like, that's why I don't have black pill, because people on January 6th, the revolutionary fervor is there on the American right. You just need to find someone who has the moral character to channel into an actual
Well, that's always been the problem. But you need the avatar, right?
But don't worry, Kanye will get
out. We should get into that. We shouldn't get something topical.
That was one of my questions. What are your thoughts on Kanye, Milo, and Nicholas Buttboy Fuentes?
Yeah. So honestly, well, first, poor Ye is surrounded by bad people. Milo sunk his fangs into him right away, and it looks like they're isolating him from everyone he used to know. So I don't know if that's going to turn good for him, but I see this as a possible huge white pill, as far as not just moving the Overton window on conversations, on controversial conversations, but more so like Trump was in 16. I believe if Ye runs for 24, first, and I advocate this to everyone else, get involved in your local Ye campaign very early and try to be
Yeah,
the startup
get
of
rid of
that.
Nick Fuentes.
But you're not going to. No, you're not. So
Oh,
you have to accept it's
I will
astroturf.
fully get rid of. I will see. You know, I will.
But what I'm
Fully,
saying is you
I
have to,
am
just
going
like
to.
Trump in 16. If anyone thought Trump was like not Trump, then that's on them. That
Well,
wasn't the beauty about 16 was the crowd he drew. This
the
Ye
thing.
is going to draw that crowd too, even stronger.
Stop.
I can't because you kind of cut me off as I'm trying to finish the sentence and a thought. So I have to get it out there or I'll lose it. So that's why, like in 16, if more people would have got in early with Trump, our ideas would have been a lot more prevalent now because that was a true populist origin until it became Republican. Yay, 24 could be that too. So that's why I think the crowd is what matters. I get it. He's astroturfed. I get it. Milo's involved. I get it. You know, he's kind of a clown character too. But that crowd that he draws could be what we're looking at as the populism that can fight this system, that can actually form something.
But does he actually draw a crowd though?
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find
because
out.
like from where I'm standing, it just seems like a freak show. And I
It
mean,
is a
again,
freak.
like
It is.
I mean,
yeah.
it really is a freak
But
show.
so
I
was
mean,
Trump. But so was Trump.
so everything's
but
but like
Trump was Trump was a freak show, but like people latched onto him and like ignored that or didn't see that. Like they took him.
like,
Like,
Well, they
deathly
haven't started the
seriously.
political stumping. You got to think about that. They haven't started the political. So what you're going to say about Nick and Milo, I agree, but you also have to understand
no, I'm
these
just gonna
people are
say
politically savvy, and they're going to have him on
that-
talking points that's going to build attention. I think.
look, Nick. Milo is a self-admitted federal informant.
Yeah, I know. Records
Like,
people. He's probably already recorded. Yay! Like, I wish I can get in touch with him. Like, do you know who these people are?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
know what they've
CT.
done?
You know, CT should be a campaign manager.
Yes.
CT.
Oh God. I've tried. I emailed a fake account already. Like I've been trying.
No,
Like I tried to
you-
send him my video on Ice Cube.
No,
because he thinks Ice Cube is a Jew
no.
fighter.
Actually, here, we got the dream team. We got Jarrett Taylor. We got CT. We got Edward Dutton. There you go, dream team.
Well.
Now I don't either. Dutton or Taylor was not rolling with me. That's for sure.
Oh, come on! You
That's
gotta
for
be
sure.
nice to Uncle
No.
Chair. What's with everyone? What's with all the hating on the Jarrett Taylor?
There's no hating. It's just we're two different. We're cut from two different cloths. You know, we're not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Jarrett Taylor is like the bow tied.
Yeah, the proper freaking and like no, we're getting dirty here. We're getting revolutionary dirty.
We need
high
Rom.
talk. Yeah,
we need Rom.
Yeah.
Maybe that's who Fuentes is. Fuentes is the Ernst Rom for Kanye's Hitler.
I thought it was Rome.
Rom? I think it's Rom.
Rome, whatever. Tomato.
Whatever. Yeah, he's the Ernst. Then what's Milo?
Yeah, right. He would be.
Hitler only had one gay guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Milo's the. I guess it could be Milo's the.
Oh, so you don't believe he shed his gayness and Jewishness. You guys don't believe this?
I don't think. I think someone said he wasn't even Jewish.
Yeah,
Jewish. He was Jewish 4 years ago. Apparently, he's not now. He was a
no. I
Greek
mean, he doesn't have any
it,
Jewish ancestry. Like
so he said it. He said it was through his mom, as it is, but then he said his mom was like a schizo essentially and lied to him about that. So I mean, who knows who the the point is he was a Zionist regardless. He was a big Zionist.
Well, look, I'm going to be honest. Like I
he
used to be.
that.
Milo is actually what brought me to the right. I'm going to say like he wasn't like, but we
know he's recorded people. I don't give a damn what his ethnicity is at the end of the day. We know he's recorded people.
Yeah, like I don't think you should record people's private conversations when it like at all.
Yeah,
it's scummy.
No, it just shows you who he is, and that's what's dangerous.
Well, it's like
he doesn't care about him.
And Laura Loomer's hooked up with them too.
Oh, Laura Loomer.
He's around a lot of bad people.
Disavowed Milo. Yeah, she there's a Jew, there's an internal Jew, there's a
Jew wars.
Jew wars. Jew on Jew.
Yeah, but I think Yay 24 could be very interesting, and I'm always looking. That's why we started New Frontier, because there was nothing left, and it's like I don't want to have to run for office. This is crazy. But nothing else is there.
I was stumped for a cultural thug bunk in 2024.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing. Ye could build something a crowd reaction. And you know what? It's not even more about him. If I can get in early and become like the campaign manager of Las Vegas for his run, then it's my words. I'm convincing
Mm.
people with my words. It's not even Ye's words. It's
Oh
my
yeah,
words.
You know what? You know what? It's true. He could get a crowd of like 1,000 people to see him, like Trump did.
yeah.
He could
Well,
actually do that.
the
He could
the
fill an
the,
audience, auditorium.
the thing is like,
People are going to be interested at first too. This is
yeah.
going to be like what's going
Oh,
on.
well,
News
yeah.
is
Look,
going
No,
to.
we can finally get people, and you know, and people is like, oh, like, oh, Hitler. It's like we can get past people's defense mechanisms with the Nazi stuff, with the reaction. Actually, I'm gonna be
well,
honest.
it desensitizes them.
It desensitizes
Yes.
people. It really does. It's
It's
like,
not such a taboo now, you know?
yeah, like, you know, it's like, oh, a cool rapper said it. I want to be cool. I'm gonna, yeah. It's like,
Or why would he say this? And they start looking in what was good about
Mhm.
Hitler. And then they find a Culture Thug video. It's like, hey, look at what
yeah,
can happen.
I really do need to do a video on Caggiano or, or something. All my videos are
You
on
should.
like, all of my videos are on. I don't know. No one. A lot of people have watched them, but you know, not the most. But you know, they're all on like people no one's heard about. That's the thing about monarchy. We don't. We're not really like we don't. People don't like. Oh, you're monarchy.
Well, how many people you think heard of Caggiano before like I made a video on him in
No one. Like I didn't
2014?
even. I like.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't even hear about him.
oh, you know what my red pill journey was? It was reading. It was, I guess, Bannon to Dugan to
Oh
Avola,
my.
because Dugan quotes Avola. No. But Avola brought me to Codriano. So I
Okay.
mean, I
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you hate Dugan.
I hate
CT,
I hate fucking hate Dugan. I fucking hate him. I hate him. He's a fucking. Anybody who's so like Dugan is literally just a. He's literally just there to undermine the right in America and make people look stupid. He literally, it says it in his book, Introduction to Geopolitics. He's good at it. I'm not gonna lie. Dugan
well,
is really.
instead of hating him, maybe just see him as like, okay, well,
Oh no,
he,
you should study him and figure out
yeah,
like he is good at it. Like you should look at Dugan's tactics and what he does as a political warfare expert of the Russian Federation and as
right.
an
Well,
advisor to Putin. How it's
he's not as big with Putin as people think
he is
Yeah.
as big as Putin. His daughter
Yeah.
literally got a people who
He is
don't
not as big with Putin as people think.
that's just something people say who like the guy. He is. It's like
No,
people who
if I liked him, I would say he is great with Putin. I would want him to be more
fuck yeah.
prestige.
No, I think he is. Like he has a lot of influence in the Kremlin. If people like to say
Mm.
it's actually Ivan Ilyin, I'm like, I looked at that as like his crowd made this fucking stupid videos. It's Ivan Ilyin. I'm like, Putin has never quoted Ivan Ilyin.
You know,
To my
yes,
knowledge.
yeah.
Has
He
he?
did it during his invasion speech
Oh,
of
maybe
Ukraine.
like once, or like, but
Well,
like it's not like Ivan Ilyin is not Putin's main influence because Ilyin is nothing like what Putin believes. Like he's anti-Western and he has critiques, but like Ivan Ilyin is an actual Russian like supremacist, which I need to finish
I
reading
mean,
Ilyin.
yeah, like I'm not a Eurasianist. I don't really have an issue in theory with the fourth political theory as a way of like having
I don't.
regionalism and regional
I support
nationalism.
the original concept of Eurasianism.
Yeah, it's like Samuel P. Huntington stuff
Oh
essentially,
no,
like civilizations and blah blah blah.
no. I was saying that like the original thing of giving all the Asian parts of Russia to white settlers and getting rid of that. That's what I mean by it.
You don't want to make a mongrelized race though.
No. See, like the other people are just going to have. We're just not. You're just taking the stuff from them because they're all Muslim, and I don't support
well.
Muslims being in existence. My philosophy is first we fix America, first we fix the Anglo world, and then we go back to what we had in the 1800s where there's only European civilization and everyone else is playing second fiddle to us.
Well, as we wake up and come back to the world we live in today, we realize we are far stretched from that. So we got to focus one step at a time.
as Giuliani Gentile said, is that you need to have a vision and that the nation is within all of us. And I'm like, holy shit, this is a good, I like what he's saying because I've only read like 30% of it. It's not a long book, The Doctrine of Fashion. It's like 100 pages.
Yeah, it's really short, but it is dense. It is dense with thoughts and philosophy and practicality.
The guy he quotes a lot, who influenced him a lot. So what's his name? It's like so. It's a really Italian name.
Hmm. Trying to think about who
It's
you'd
like
be.
Masoni or something. But like, I was like, okay, it seems like you should read that guy before you read Giuliani Gentile, who's like the father of modern like Italy. I was like, okay, now I'm reading it. I'm like, how is fascism? I was like, this is not even remotely what fascists believe. That's such a stupid book. I mean,
Which
pamphlet.
one? Oh, the 14 points.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
dumb. I was like, there's a lot more. I was like, this isn't just that sounds like something liberals came up with to dismiss like the legitimate ideas of fascism. It's like it's just a thought terminating
Well,
cliche.
that's basically what all academia's been since the 40s.
Yeah, that is true. Like, I mean, besides like Hop came out of academia, he's not a thought terminating cliche of his work.
Mm.
Like,
Well,
as
well,
what?
I'm afraid I have to take my leave.
Okay.
So,
All right. It was good speaking to you.
yeah, likewise. Yeah, I'm glad we could do this.
All right. How much longer you plan on going, Loyalist?
I don't know. I usually go for like maybe like 40 more minutes.
Okay.
Let's see. Better late than never. Okay, yeah, Dark Calhoun. Yeah, you're better late than never.
Trying to think about who you were talking about.
Let me just open up my copy of the Doctrine of Fascism.
Because it's a writer and nationalist. I think I forget his name, but who you're talking about? Who was
Yeah, like a lot of what Giuliani Gentile talks about, and I like what he says. He's like the nation is within all of us. As like the nation and the spirit of the nation is within all Italians and what it means to be Italian.
Manzini? You're talking about Manzini.
Manzini, yeah, Manzini.
Yes, yes,
He's
yes.
like he talks about Manzini, and I'm like, who? It's like I never heard of that guy.
That's
And
same here. I never heard of him too till I read him, and then had to look into Manzini and
yeah, it's like a
yeah,
lot of these people like Caggiano's like, wait, who the fuck is this? Like
yeah.
they just like liberals critique of like leftist critique of fascism is so watered down and lame. It's like some like libertarians critique of fascism. It's like they can critique the economics of it, but not the overall philosophy of it.
Well, they don't even get into too much of the economics. It's just always racism and hate. Like that's how
Well,
they just define
it,
it, and
it,
try to
it
shut you down. And
well, it's like the like race if they scream racist at you, like they think that's good enough for most people. It's like the race realist things. They've been using the same argument since the fucking 70s.
mm-hmm.
Like they don't have like they've been using the same. I mean, not even that. They've been using it since the 20s. Like leftists have no arguments. Like
No,
they
no.
don't. Like it's the same shit at nauseum, and it doesn't matter how many times you argue against them and disprove them. Like the left has been disproven. I mean,
But it still works though. That's what's crazy because yeah,
well,
that's why they use these buzzwords because
because
it
it
kills
was
arguments.
it's like what Franco did. Franco said, "Okay, you know what? We won the Civil War. You're all going to pretend to be moderates now." It's like, no, you will be tried and executed for your treason, and that's what I think. I think leftists should be tried fairly and then executed for their treason, or deported really to communist country utopia of their choosing, and they can live out their days there. They'll probably be shot by those people. I don't care. Like I don't. You can't live in a society ultimately with these people because they are. Where are you trying to find a common like argument with like someone's like that's not what Mussolini believed. Like, do you support Mussolini? He's like, no. Like I'm not a fascist, but like that's objectively not what he said.
Yeah. Oh, I believe me. I spoke with Caleb, all these people who try to tell me what fascism was. I'm just like, like
Well,
it's frustrating because because once again they're not like educated in that. They haven't taken the time. They just know the slander from the communist side, and they just repeat that. And the leftists, they know it from their leftist side, and it's They just
Well,
repeat. No one actually reads and understands or tries to
well,
understand.
well, it's like a book I'm gonna finish reading. I just started reading, which is Life in a Medieval Village. And it's like monarchy, everyone was rich. Like the monarchs were like rich and living off the peasants' labor. When you read about it, it's like it was pretty normal. Like life was pretty normal back then. And you just knew where the king was. That's the guy. You're looking for the guy in charge. Lord's over there, castle 5 miles to the west.
Yeah, I think the only thing with that, because yeah, feudalism gets a bad rap, I believe. In fact, corporatism is like feudalism evolved in the modern age, really. If you look at how corporate structures are set up, corporatist structures are set up as opposed to feudalism. The only thing, or one of the benefits of corporatism, I'd argue, over feudalism is the peasant can own the land at least under corporatism. Under feudalism, the
Well,
peasant didn't own the
well,
land.
that's the thing with the whole modern ideas. Like we're literally under neo feudalism. It's like no, because a feudal lord will go out with his men in arms, and defend his right over his land with hundreds of pounds of steel on his back, and with the sword in his hand. You're gonna see Bezos riding out in the Amazon his Amazon army. That would be honestly that'd be sounds pretty cool actually.
Well, I
That's
mean,
it.
also it's they had to care about the people, the peasants that were tilling the lands, because that supports the whole kingdom essentially. So it's like you're not going
Well,
to
you didn't even
purposefully
work
pass
that
things.
much. Like in feudalism, you worked like if you look at the hours people worked, you can only do so much plowing or like tilling the land. Most of the time, like you weren't working as much. Like you work more now than you did back then. We have a longer work day,
Hmm.
and it's like people when you say like I'm a carpenter, I get paid pretty all right, but like the thing is like people and this brings back like efficiency since the feudal age has gone up. We shouldn't be having to work as much as we do. It destroys our bodies. Like we're not meant to work that much, and productivity's just gone up, but we still work longer hours than we used to. Like we used to like we went from like the industrial times we were working insane hours to the like time we're working like 40 hours, and back then in the feudal era we were working 20. You're working 20 hours. That was your work week was 20 hours because there was
Was that
only
what
so
they
much.
say? Feudalism work week was 20 hours?
Yeah, well, some historians say that, but
No, don't have me repeating some bullshit here now. I don't
okay.
want to go
Well,
around saying, oh, can someone just school me on it?
life in a. I think I got that from Life in a Medieval Village. That's a good book if you were interested.
Life in
And
medieval village. Yeah, I am
that,
interested in that actually.
let's see, Life in a Medieval Village. I have way too many books to get through that I haven't gotten through.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, that I honestly, would really like to start. I had a right wing book thing review that we did on here, but I don't know. I fell off of it because I got lazy. Really.
Yeah, that'll happen. That'll happen.
Uh,
It was good that you read though. Yeah, this is good that you're doing that.
yeah, reading is good.
Yeah.
Reading, like even if you read fiction books, people should read. Like I feel more enjoyment. Like I finished reading the Blue Dawn series, which is like it's like boomer. It's like it's boomer masturbation, Civil War II porn books, basically. Not like it does sexual content, but
Turner Diaries, like
well, no, like imagine like Tono Diaries, except kind of mixed with
Dinesh
Dinesh.
D'Souza.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
like it's all right, but I'm like, it's like okay, this is just unrealistic. Like you got like the base Mexican guy. It's like at least you don't have the base gay guy. At least you have
That's
something.
coming out in part 2. That's in the sequel. Don't worry.
No, I've read both the books. It's
Oh,
not.
okay, then the third one then. Don't worry, they'll work their way in there. Base
Yeah,
tranny. Yeah.
base
They're all
tranny.
coming. They're all coming.
But that's the thing with you know people on the right these days. A lot of people on the right actually I think these days read a lot more than they used to. Like the religious right that didn't read as much as the new right. We read a lot.
Well, it's definitely become, yeah, it's definitely become like a meme. Even the whole cultured thug meme, like that saying has caught on from James Bowden, and people understand part of that cultured part is self-education, and you see we praise it more, self-education, and by actually getting books, you see there's a bunch of dissident right, like book companies producing books, and there always has back even with Pierce, like he had a library you can buy from.
He still
Uh,
does.
Oh, do they still have it up? But at that time, because once again, I was all mail order catalog stuff. It's like books you never heard of. Artists like I got so many books of people I never heard of, and got introduced to a whole new world of thought thanks to that. And yeah, we have a lot more of that. Leftists aren't really reading books, and if they're reading books, it's like
Well,
circle jerk shit.
Countercurrents had a, I forget his name. Hold on, I think Countercurrents had like a review of his books, but I can't find them anything besides
Carrie
French. It's like,
Bolton, Carrie Bolton, or
no, he's a libertarian socialist.
no, I haven't heard of that.
Jean like France something. I can't remember his name.
Mm.
But like I tried finding his books, but because I like PDFs, like because I'm dyslexic, so I have trouble reading sometimes. So I'll admit it, I have some screen readers that help me. So it's hard for me to read.
I
Physical
can't
books.
do that. I can't read online, dude. I have to have a physical book.
Okay, well, I'm dyslexic, so
But maybe that's
screw.
my dyslexia because it's like I can't
Okay,
look at a screen and
oh
like that
that
long.
whatever.
It's weird. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
It's weird.
okay, it is weird. But yeah, I was looking for a lot of his books, but I can only find them in French, and I'm like, I don't read French. But a friend of mine speaks French. I'm like, man, I really want to, because I want to start a right wing book publishing company that focuses more on, like, there's people who focus on like Caggiano and stuff. It's like, you know what? We need someone who focuses on reactionary European thought and bring it to the US. Not enough of that. We don't have like translations of a lot of like Russian. Like I have a copy of 3 books of a Russian statesman, which I haven't started yet. And but like a lot of like reactionaries of the French variety. There's this one really weird Russian philosopher, Russian guy. I forget his name. His like organization called themselves like the Yellow Ducks or something. Really weird
Hmm.
dude. Like
That
a
does
Russian.
sound familiar, though. That does sound familiar.
Like his books have never been translated to English. I want to get like his books translated to English. I want to get like people like there's a few translations of Ilian, but I think we need audiobooks, like PDFs, and like but like those aren't like I don't know who translated
Audiobooks
them.
are the way to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know who translated those, but like I think we should never rely on like translators that are academics. They should be our people writing them, so the money goes to our people to fund us, and that's it. We shouldn't rely on anybody who isn't on our side to
Well,
buy books from.
isn't that what what's that
Yeah,
book company?
Antelope Hill, but
Antelope Hills. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but they have stuff like it's like I have most of this stuff.
Yeah. 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 But
Like I
still, I mean,
like I was like I have a lot of this stuff. I can get this stuff already. I want stuff
oh,
that I
we
just
sell books too that are you can't find anywhere
okay.
else.
Like what do you got?
Let me go
Shill your
through it.
stuff. This is
This
100% time to you shill.
Yes, it
Shill.
it is shill time. This is first the economic writings of Ezra Pound, a collection of all of his economic writings. The theory we have that Imperium's been out. The Coming American Fascism by Lawrence Dennis. This is a book you can't find, written in 1936. The Economic Foundations of Fascism by Paul Enzig. That's the big one. Can't find that anywhere. And that is a gold mine of information of how the Italian corporatist economy worked. Revolution, How to Do It in Modern Society, Kai Murros. They
Ooh,
just
I have that
reprinted
one.
that. Yeah,
Oh,
they
I have
just
that one.
reprinted that one. But when he gave us permission at first to print it and sell it, and didn't ask for anything from us. Real good guy. And then other people started doing that.
Do you know
So
how
we
to
got
get
a
in
couple.
contact with him? I
Not
love
now.
that.
It's been like 2 years since I spoke to him. So yeah.
He looks like a weird dude.
Well, yeah, he has a look. He definitely has a look.
He has look. It's like this very distinctive look.
Yeah. Yeah, the glasses. The glasses is what does it.
Him and Ed Dunn do as well. Ed Dunn also has a very distinctive look.
I'm vaguely familiar of Ed Dutton. Like I know I've heard the name.
British, like imagine kind of like a British aristocrat.
Is he hooked up with Richard Spencer?
I don't know why.
Okay. That's I was just thinking about. I'm thinking of the right
If
guy.
Dutton, if Dutton, you're watching this, which you're probably not. Spencer, you're above him in every way. Spencer's beneath you intellectually, morally, and philosophically. If Dutton was leading the alt-right, it would be successful. He clearly knows his shit. I like Dutton.
What do you like about him? Why do you say that?
Oh, he's just very presentable. He has he has a very strong way. Like I have a list, as people could very well tell. He talks in a very, very presentable fashion. I like what he says about the spiteful mutant idea. Basically, a lot of these people shouldn't exist, and they're just spiteful at the functioning members of society.
Is he's not American though?
I think he's British.
Okay.
I like him. I like what's I forget his name. He was like a high Tory, kind of like the British Pat Buchanan.
Just say you're an Anglophile. That's it.
I am
And
an
we'll go with
Anglophile.
the
I'm
rest.
100%. Like
I know you
this is an Anglo country, and I support. And I 100% do not like you. I read Continental Europeans, but I honestly take the approach that the British were correct when they said "fuck Continental Europe" and America. America. The eternal Anglo will reign forever. Yeah,
Hey,
but
Imperium Press is another one. Yeah, they're doing good stuff too.
yeah, Imperium Press. Except I'm not. Never mind. I'm not going to start. I'll make slight jabs at people, but I'm not starting fights with people.
Oh, there's enough of that. There's enough of that to go around.
I will make legitimate critiques, and then when people insult me for my legitimate critiques, then I will start. Then it's on.
Yeah. Well, that's been every conflict with me with every whatever alt-right personality has always been someone asked me my thoughts,
people
critique,
keep calling me
shit
alt-right,
talking.
but I'm not. I've never called myself alt-right, associated myself with the alt-right.
Yeah.
I'm a reactionary.
Neither have I, but that's the blanket. That's just the all-encompassing term.
Do not associate myself with those people. Those are trashionalists. I mean, to be fair, I do like bands like the Wolverines and like a lot of the skinhead punk rock shit.
Right.
I love that shit because I'm a working class blue collar guy. And I'm not LARPing.
Yeah.
If you doxed me, you'd find a bunch of pictures of me on construction sites. You'd be confused because I look like a child. But I look like I'm
How old are you?
26, but I look like I'm
Okay.
10. I mean, I'm not like the height of 10. I just have the face of a fucking 10-year-old. I got a baby face. A lot of women have said it's cute. It works for me.
Well, I don't know if you look 10 and they're saying you look cute. I don't know about those.
Okay, I'll take it.
No, I'm sure, but it's back to the alt-right and all that crap and all these groups out there. RAC, back to that. In fact, yeah, that's great. Like I grew up listening to RAC, and then I stopped for like 10 years and then just recently, the past couple of years, started breaking out the old MP3s, Screwdrivers, and Bound for Glories, and No Remorse, Blue Eyed Devils, Angry Air, blah 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 blah, all these bands. And yeah, unfortunately, they never had quality like studios for any of these people. So whenever someone like hears me listening to it, like my kids will hear me listening to Screwdriver and it's like, this voice is horrible. The music sounds horrible. It's like, well,
have you ever listened to Black Magic SS?
No.
Oh man, I'm all about. See, I know all of the really obscure far right acts.
Is that like black metal?
It's kind of like psychedelic Nazi metal.
Huh. No.
It's pretty groovy.
Yeah, I don't like the black metal, death metal shit at all.
It's like, I found them because I looked through like the Facebook leaked band like things you're not allowed to talk about, and black magic SS. I'm like, what is that? So thank you, Facebook leaked memos of what all the hate groups, because you just find new people to like. Ooh, I've never heard about those. I'm gonna check those people out.
Yeah.
It's like a badge of honor. I will 100%, as soon as I get on the SPLC, like I've already been shit talked by an orthodox, like the orthodox kind of type SPLC types. They've already told me that I'm a bad person for advocating to purge them, which by that I meant excommunicate. I spoke incorrectly there, and they have already shit talked me. I'm waiting to get on the SPLC hate map. I'm like, myself, I am a hate group. I'm a hate group onto myself. Because you've made it once you're on the SPLC hate map. It's like a badge of honor. It's like, yeah, put me on there. If they emailed me, go ahead, put me on there. I want you to put this quote. Fuck you're all a bunch of dirty commies at the SPLC, and I hope your mom sucks cocks in hell. And just quote The Exorcist on them.
Yeah, I don't get the credit I deserve from these groups either.
Wait, you're not an official hater?
No, I don't get no credit. One People's Project was the only group that ever doxed me and put me on their list.
Damn.
Like, no
GT.
love from an ADL, no love from an SPLC. I'm like, what do I got to do here? Like, come on.
I guess a lot of your stuff is really intellectual. It's like American Krogan, if you know him.
Yeah.
Like his stuff's like really intellectual, and like I get bored with it. I've talked to the guy in like his group chat. He's a nice guy, but I think he's sorry. I'll watch like 2.5 hours, but like most people won't. They're great documentaries about like he'll talk about something and then transition into something else. Like when he goes like from talking about a video game to talking about what the whole history of like that region and that area. I loved his videos. Great guy.
Me too. I like him. I haven't spoken to him in a while, but I used to speak with him.
Oh yeah, him. Do you know Love, Life and Anarchy? He had a really good documentary on the Spanish Civil War.
The only thing I know from him is one of the best videos I've ever seen, and I saved it to my hard drive, and it's his video with Farrakhan on the termites, and that's all I know about the guy. But it's one of my favorite videos ever.
Yeah, well, like his video on the Spanish Civil War, like he just pops up. I was gonna have him on. I've like briefly tried to get him on. He said like he was supposed to be on here a few months ago, but I guess if you don't remind people, like I was supposed to have like 3 people on here. We gotta like harass people. Like I didn't ask to harass you. I'm like, we good for tomorrow? Yep. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
I never don't show up when someone invites me on to things.
I hate that. That's what me and Stryker had our little first falling out thing was that. I went on his show, and then after it, I'm like, and this is like 5 years ago, or whatever it was. Yeah, it was like 5 years ago. Shit. And then I emailed him. I was like, hey, now I'm going to bring you on mine. He's like, sure. And then he totally ghosted me. I'm just like, why the fucker? Why would you tell me sure? Just say no, I can't, or do something. And then that's what kind of first started. Like, okay, this is a one-way relationship.
I mean,
here.
To be fair, like people like to say he's Puerto Rican, so they don't have like the white person sense of time.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the sense of your word. That's what pisses me off about like a lot of people. It's like they say something and then they don't follow through. And like, well, what's the point of your whole, esoteric politics and wanting a better if you're not a better person yourself? It's like if I make a commitment and if I can't meet that commitment, I'm going to let you know well ahead of time. Or I'm going to let you know something happened, right? Outside of that, I'm going to be there. I'm going to stay by my word. And a lot of people that I dealt with over the years, and mind you, it's like every internet personality on the alt-right, on the dissident right, all of them, and most of them, they were fucking shitty people that couldn't keep their word, that only use people for hits, right? That's it. And like, oh, we got Culture Thug on. Whenever I would be on YouTube and get a little bump and have a little something going for myself, that's when I noticed they would be interested in speaking to me.
Well, some of the people, the first person I had on, I was surprised they said yes, was Patriarch Prime, who's like a big guy in the Orthodox Twitter. That was like all my first guests were all Orthodox Christians. And then I got I just started you know what? Like Jared from libertarian hopping.org came on. I really like him. He's a nice guy. That's why hate getting banned off Twitter. Not because I like using it. It was just an easy way to get in contact with a lot of these people.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's it. Like I honestly only used it for that. I really should just stopped tweeting really racial slurs at
Well,
every
yeah,
single.
that's all I use Twitter for. It's my news feed. Like I don't comment, I don't post. I have an account where I just follow a bunch of people, a bunch of different news outlets, and every day wake up, boom, get coffee, go down the news feed. What happened in the world? It's like so for me, Twitter is very informative. I think it's a great site because I'm just not in all the bullshit. I'm not fighting with people on there. I'm not.
The only I think I know what happened. It was either because I pissed everyone off on Twitter. I pissed off the Greerites and the Fuentes types, which I'm not fighting with them. Greer just constantly if you ever want to have fun, anybody just insult Scott Greer and in the slightest or criticize anything he says. He'll just go on a 30 Twitter tangent about how much you're a dick and how much he's so much smarter than everyone else on the right. It's the funniest shit to do.
Oh, I can imagine. Honestly, I had a friend in Texas, and a good friend for a while. Like we got into activism way early in 2005, 6, 7, all of that. And he was in Texas, and he was a part of Identity Europa. Then it became AIM. What was it?
Aim.
American Identity Movement. So 2 times I flew down there from Vegas with my family, and or first time we drove down there. Second time we flew down there with my kids and to have a big party, like people from Oklahoma, Texas, like their whole Identity Europe. Patrick Casey was there, one of them, all of this, like all of them coming down there. A lot of them knew me, but because this was my boy, right? And he invited me. So been to 2 of these big meetups with them, right? So time passes, he gets into Nick Fuentes. This and now that you said his name, I totally forgot this cunt of Greer, right? But I remember seeing him on Twitter, and like this guy's just such a
He's a
just
bitch.
snarky piece of shit, right? You
He's
can
a
just
right
tell.
wing sword boy. He really is.
Yeah, no, exactly. But he has that here, I'm better, I'm smart. Like he has this whole thing and he mocks everything and he's just very snarky. And so was Nick and all of this. And my friend was like really getting into that, right? My friend, I was in Texas that. And we got into an argument to where I'm like, dude, don't ever fucking like literally broke up our relationship over him defending. And just because you brought it up, I ain't even thought about it since that day, fucking 4, 5, 6 years ago, whenever that it was over him like defending him. I'm like, dude, you've jumped, and I told him, I was like, you jumped
Well,
from
my
fucking
my,
Richard
my
Spencer to Mike Enoch now to Nick Fuentes. I'm like, get your fucking head out your ass, because he was on third position early with me back in the day, and to see him just fall so low to defending people like Scott Greer, I was just like, yeah, fuck you, dude. You've lost your path. You've lost whatever road you were on.
Well, I just jumped around watching everyone, and I'm like, why is everyone fighting? Like that's my whole thing. Like I'll make jokes at people, but I've had people if I had you and Brandon Martinez, I've had him on, or he'd scream at you and call you a Marxist piece of shit, and I
I
was
know
like, yeah,
Brandon Martinez. He's a
oh no,
worm.
he's all right.
No, he's not.
People.
He's changed his personality.
Okay, yeah, okay,
You know when he was
people.
Zion Crime Factory? I knew him when he was Zion Crime Factory back in the day, when he was hanging out with all the Wignats until they saw his picture and said he wasn't white. Then he went full anti-white. Then he started hooking up with people he was talking shit about just a week ago to talk shit on white nationalism. Then he went into this new grift that a lot of people do, the press TV grift, the RT grift, the I'm going to be the moose
Oh,
in
I
my hair intellectual, and go on these little alternative news sites and write a bunch of books, basic big bitch books on Zionism. Then he comes back as the racist troll, and everyone and then the Wignats love him. I mean, fine, love him, love what he says, laugh at it, but no one judges anyone by their character. No one. So it's like, it's when I've been the same person from day one, and I see people literally change their brand in front of my face just because I've been
well,
around for a while.
I mean,
I can't respect that. I can't
I
respect
mean,
that. That's like
people
shady
can
to me.
find things that are actually, I'm going to be honest, they're out there. Me, when I was really immature and I was a lot younger, there is stuff out there of me doing that. And I'll say it was immature and it wasn't the right thing. I'm preempting anybody finding this, because if you find it, I'll admit to it, but you got to find it.
Yeah,
It's
well,
not
I'm
even
not
like
talking about changing just because you're maturing. I'm talking about literally changing just because something happened to you. Oh, I believe like the American History X scene where like he gets raped in prison. Okay, yeah, that sucks. But how did anyone disprove what you believed? No one did, right? You just changed your views because you got fucked over. And like that's literally what he did for a period of time. And it's just like, come on, it's not a maturing process. It's just literally not having a solid character. So going with whatever suits you. And like I said, the racist troll suits him now. He can get his grift off of that, and people like to hear that. There's a crowd for that, so there's always going to be a crowd for that to tap
well,
into.
I'm gonna be honest. Like there was like two other guys who did that better. One of them in the UK. This guy, he got arrested though for hate speech live on. I was watching it live. He got literally arrested live.
Especially in the UK, they are over the top with
Oh,
that.
like yeah, like he literally got arrested live, and I used to interact with the guy. He was pretty funny. He was like the young British guy. He was pretty. He was actually funny. Like he was legitimately funny. He was like Capo Cami is a degenerate, but he was just funny. Like he was just like this. He was like young. I like that young energy, like that he was putting out. Like just like having fun with it, and it was like everyone was enjoying it. Like I don't see a like. It's like Gypsy Crusader, like this like everyone was enjoying it, and I think there needs to be like jokesters on the far right. I think that's important. I think some people it's just okay to have some laughs at people.
No, but the problem is the sycophants online put these people on pedestals like they are moral leaders now
They're
too.
not. They're comedians. They're like
Well,
far right
but that's
comedians.
most people got ahead in the scene are comedians. I mean, you
I
look at it.
mean,
How did TRS get big? I mean, how did Mike Enoch get big? I mean,
oh
it's
yeah,
by comedy, by
there's
being
nothing.
funny, by making
There's nothing.
snarky memes and
It's
comments
okay.
on Twitter.
It's okay. That makes
It's not
snarky me.
okay. It's not
It's
okay.
fine to be look. I don't like I look throughout this show. I made a bunch of jokes, but I used to take this show a lot more seriously. Maybe I should.
What's not about the jokes is what I'm saying is you're propping the jokers up as leaders. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. People should like TOS should never like taken the stuff IOL. They're like the jokesters, the pranksters. They should have just said, "This is TOS. We're gonna make some jokes. We're gonna have like our more serious shows on the network." And that's fine. That's more effective. Like some people, everyone is not Hitler. Hitler is Hitler, and
Yeah, we don't even have Huey Long right now. I mean, it is
look,
pretty
we don't like who's like a really lame fascist leader that I can't think. Like someone who's really lame, never went anywhere.
well, I mean, if you so there's probably a lot of them if you're talking about groups that never succeeded. Um, what's his name? Salgado out of Brazil.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. The I don't know, Quisling. Fuck that guy. Like he was just a traitor, honestly, and an opportunist. But everyone thinks they're who's it, like all those fat guys and like was it the American like social the
oh,
guys who have
NSM, National
NS
Socialist Movement.
yeah like the like the literally the stereotype come to life.
Yeah, Hollywood Nazis to the T. Yeah.
Yeah, dime store. Yeah. But everyone thinks those people are convinced that no I'm Hitler. It's like nah, you're fat. You need to lose some weight.
Yeah, there what's too many chiefs, not enough Indians, right? That seems to be a problem with a lot of things.
Oh, that's a very common saying in the carpentry world. Is you
Yeah.
can't have too many chiefs.
Yep.
And
Yeah, but that translates to everything. Translates to everything. And but look how chiefs are made and are seen. It's by entertainment quality. It's by subs. It's by so
well,
that's why we
if
get
you
what we get at
if
as the
you
face of it.
really look at it, like if we look at people who've proven themselves to be good, like who keep the noses clean. I mean, some people don't like Greg Johnson, but Greg Johnson keeps his nose pretty clean.
No, he starts drama, although he's a
Okay,
drama
sometimes.
queen.
Okay,
Drama queen.
he's gay.
Closet homosexual drama queen.
Sometimes, but like he has his lane of stuff he does, and he doesn't start so much shit with everyone else. But like Fuentes, like and his crowd just start shit with everyone.
Yeah.
Like they try and get like, and there's such coattail. There's such like they take ideas like the Groyper Wars and they just take them over. Like the original people asking questions weren't Fuentes types. They were just random people. Like it was actually like this guy who is a lot of people associated with like E. Michael Jones, which I don't know. I don't like that crowd. That's not. I'm not.
I
I'm like
never paid attention to that crowd. I'm very well aware of E. Michael Jones, but never
his
got into his
crowd of like
crowd. Yeah,
Catholic,
I can imagine. Yeah.
like fundamentalists, whatever's. But yeah, like Fuentes, like just usurped that for his own political gain, and you can see like the downside of America First is like he got rid of people like Patrick Casey, Janie McNeil, and like people who actually had beliefs into like the Hobbit midget known as Beardson Beardley.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, it's like once we're talking about people that do the entertainment angle and move ahead. I mean, Nick Fuentes is a great example. The whole Groyper thing. Yeah. Baked Alaska, um, Beardson, these people. Yeah, it's a clown show, but look, they're popular. They're the most popular thing in the dissident right going on right now. So it's like that's what works, and that's why we'll never get the results we truly want, because like I said, look who's at the front.
Whoa. Yeah, it's American. The American far right is a or dissident, whatever the hell we want to call
Yeah,
ourselves.
whatever
Like,
it is. Yeah.
well, I just like the right because that's
Right.
simple. We are just the right wing. We're the actual right, or just the right. Everyone else is just a leftist. That's easier. That's the easiest thing.
That is the
But
easiest thing. Yes.
yeah. But like you see, like the right wing in Europe, and it's not a joke. It doesn't have like all these entertainers. You see like Casa Pound Italia, uh, the Slovenian People's Party,
Nordic resistance movement.
Nordic Resistance Movement, Ukrainian nationalists, the Polish right under Confederacja. Uh, what's the? It's like it's the further right to the like current Hungarian government. I forget the party, but they exist. I mean, even if you don't like him because the Zionist Vox in Spain, uh, Action Franca, which is the monarchist reactionaries, but you know, and even in Romania, there's small groups of there's the Party of the Romanian New Right, which are basically they're Cadriano, the new Cadriano S type. But these people are all normal people. Like you look at the gatherings, it's like families, it's like normal people. It's not like these overly overly like flamboyant attention whores. And like
That's
you're
purely American. I know, it's like an American thing. It's what
it's like
sells here.
it's actually
Sensationalism.
and the people's like, oh, why isn't the American dissident right? Because like because in the 80s it was in 90s it was a serious thing with people like Pat Buchanan and you even see like E. Michael Jones on C-SPAN acting like normal human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, someone made a good comment actually about the Fuentes meeting. Why did they like blow that out in the air? Why did they just like, you know, you got into Trump's confidence, you went to dinner with him, keep that on the down low so you can get closer to Trump. Like
Yeah.
like you can say, oh, now I can have influence in the Trump administration in 2024. Dumb. Because
Yeah, dumb, of course.
it was never about getting like close to Trump. It was about Milo's bitchy little homosexual revenge. And like you see, like I've never seen that in Europe. I've never seen that in European far right groups. Like there's fighting. Like there's occasionally like the Bantuists from Ukraine arguing with Polish nationalists, but like they just say, look, we're gonna leave that in the past with the whole you guys killing a lot of Polish people and us killing Ukrainians. We're leaving that in the past where it belongs. But in America, it's like a bunch of catty women. Like these
Hmm.
people, like I'm super masculine. Like you act like the most catty females on the face of the planet.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but that's our scene. I mean, that's entertainment though. That gets drama streams get more views than anything else.
Yeah, like if I
Anything.
just devoted this whole show to like I thought about doing it, like grifters of the right. And I'm like, why would I like oh that's so dumb. Because I'm not gonna draw on the people for the right reasons. I'm gonna draw them in for the wrong reasons. I mean, there's six to like
They
four to
want to see
nine.
the cat fight. Yeah, they want to see the
Well,
car
well,
wreck.
well, I occasionally again like there's a few episodes where again screaming arguments with Nation about stuff, but that's because there's legitimate disagreement there about stuff, not because not because I'm just screaming at him for entertainment purposes.
Hmm.
There's no reason for that. It's completely stupid that we do these things. It makes us look dumb. Like people like to make the joke of left wing infighting. Oh, far right infighting is way worse. And it gets
Yeah,
it's not even over legitimate. Like there's legitimate policy differences, and people can disagree about stuff like Russia, Ukraine. That starts a lot of shit shows. But like that's legitimate policy disagreement. Like when you're just like this person is cringe, winged at. I'm like, what do you mean by that? Like, what's your disagreements with like TRS? Like, I have my disagreements with the NJP. One, I don't think it's very effective. I think it's a waste of time. And I have friends who are in NJP, but like the party name is stupid. The platform isn't very good. Like I see some of the things like black people will be judged by juries. So black people is like you realize then Daryl Brooks would get off.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
It's not a lot of the policies aren't well thought out. But if I would criticize TRS on the grounds that a lot of the stuff they do is not well thought out, and they had their chance, and I don't think anybody should trust them after Charlottesville. They fucked that up. And everyone there, all the leadership there fucked that up. There was no coordination. No one was vetted properly, and it was a shit show. It
hmm,
made us look stupid. I mean, I was a liberal then, but I'm in hindsight. But and then people started the optics war, and I know I was on the Nick team, but no, looking back on it, it was just about catty drama, so you could be on top of the dying far right. The far right in America is not dying; it's grown, and there's new people coming into it. But people need to realize is that when we say we're a movement and this is what we're trying to achieve, it's not about you. It's about moving towards the end goal of what society we want to live in. Like I want to live in a Christian moral society, white society. And that's where my end goal is. My end goal is that. Well, I mean,
yeah.
there's more to that, but that's where I think when I die, I want it to be. I don't think I'm going to get to the Anglo Imperium. That's for my kids to do.
Yeah, well, we have totally different end goals as far as that goes. I don't think that's like reality at all, making America a white country. I
I
think
I don't
that's
I don't. But that's the thing is like you don't think it's possible. I do, but I'll say why it is. I think it is. I think those are the only people can agree with our ideas, anyways. I don't think there's any point in trying to reach out to non-whites. The
depends on
non-white.
what your ideas are. That's what I'm saying. So when you look at the New Frontier platform, uh, regardless of your race, you're going to agree with a lot of it. You're going to see the common sense in it. You're going to see how it serves a community much better than what we're doing now.
Well,
So it depends what you're preaching to people is what they'll accept. People used to always mock me for years. Oh, good luck with your multiracial fascism. And I would tell them, I was like, well, you know what? Blacks and Mexicans are more open to the idea of a strongman than the white people are. I'm not afraid of convincing blacks and Mexicans. I'm
oh, I'm
afraid of
not.
the white liberals more than anything else. I mean, these are
Oh,
the people that hate the strongman concept. If you look in
well,
black and mestizo countries, a lot of strongmen are always
that's
in
because they're
power there.
dysfunctional. It's not because, and that's the thing is like I think like what I'd say there is like Mexicans and blacks already benefit from the system. Like they already get preferential treatment. I mean, some of the neighborhoods are shit, but like overall, their race benefits from stealing resources from white people. So they're
Yeah,
already
but it's
benefiting.
crumbs, and it gives them no self motivation too, right? So
Well,
it
a lot of
harms
people,
them.
that's okay. For a
Oh,
lot
well,
of people,
that's the thing. So,
like
and we'll
like
see.
well, that's the thing. Like a lot of people, that's okay. And like the Mexican, like I have Mexicans who agree with me. Like I have friends who are Orthodox and Mexican, and they're like loyalist. You're not allowed to go to some of these churches because you see you're like, it's the black people. Like, yeah, yeah, there is. I'm like, yeah, I get along with a lot of black
Oh yeah,
Orthodox.
that's well. Any workplace is especially manual labor.
Oh
You
yeah,
could
like
go to the black guy
I
and talk
speak.
about the Mexicans. You can go to the Mexican,
Oh
talk
no,
about
no,
the
like
black guy. You can
it'd be
fucking
like if someone doxed me, tried to get me fired. It's like, you have a racist on your crew. Which one?
yeah, exactly.
It's like no one gives a fucking blue collar labor.
No one. So that's what these limousine liberals, or what they call them. That's what they don't get. What these affluent white lefties don't get is, yeah, on sports, military, construction sites. It's all racial ball busting. It's all fucking stereotypical
well,
because
well,
this
that's
is
the
how
thing,
people communicate.
I mean, I'm a white supremacist, but something Zizek said, and people can shit talk me for saying this, is Zizek said when you're actually comfortable with someone, you will make racist jokes at them. Like when you
Yeah.
act like you will make like racial jokes at each, just like tell me a dirty joke.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, and that's the truth. And but that's what's funny when they try to turn it into, oh my God, he said this race joke, he needs to be canceled, destroyed. He hates every person that came from Africa ever, and the craziness they go through. It's sad, and it's still working. But I keep hoping it's that kind of like the weapon they use of these slanders and terms, like is
It will
going to
never
lose its
stop
power.
working. It like it's like people. It's because these people have an end goal. Like people like to laugh at the Agenda 2040 30 shit, but that's actually what
Hmm.
they want. It's some sort of
Hmm.
weird totalitarian form of identity, no identity, destroy all religion.
Hmm.
You will own nothing and be. You may call it
Happy.
like supervillain evil, but that's what they want. They act like that. That's what they like, and what they want. And it's funny, people's like they act like 1984. One thing people don't realize about 1984, one of the groups Orwell's making fun of is a group by the name of Fabian Socialists, and that's what these people are. The Fabian Socialists who believe in the Fabian Society of a technocratic future ruled by elitism, and it was really popular in the 20s, and it still continued. It went very underground, and then you have a lot of splits off from that. Like that's what the UN is founded on. It's not liberalism. It's just it's these people believe in a one world government where you own nothing and the resources are managed as these wild zones. It's creepy. It's social engineering, and I find social engineering creepy. But that's their end goal, and we need to. And it's horrible, and no one wants it. But but like we that's for the sake of humanity. These people really do need to be stopped. I'm not trying to be like for the sake of humanity, but like for legitimately, if we want actual art and culture to continue, people like people like say Klaus Schwab, but he does have power, in the World Economic Forum weirdos. They need to be stopped, and they won't stop unless you either one put them in prison or two execute them. Like these groups won't stop until they're
Yeah, you're
driven
not
out
going to
of.
convince. You're not going to have a debate and convince someone. Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm going to change
Well,
everything I've been doing and the way I've been
that's
thinking.
the thing. Is like I'll say I'm a white supremacist, but one of the things I also believe in. Yeah, I don't want to get into the identity Dixie doxing TRS stuff. I'm not. I don't like. That's not. I don't do drama. I'm just reading the chat.
Yeah, no, I see it. I don't know. I know there was something with. We actually interviewed the guy from Identity
Oh,
Dixie.
I interviewed like a dissident mama.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, I don't know anything about like TRS or him or what they
Oh,
were, or I didn't
they
even know
they
they're
do.
part of it. So, I have no idea about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Marconius Rufus. Yeah, he's a cool. He seems like a cool
Masonius
guy.
Rufus, yeah, that's who. Yeah, he was a great guy. He's a very intelligent guy too. Um, but
Yeah,
then he brought up something about that drama, and I was like, I
I
have
don't
no
know.
idea
I
what he's
know
talking
about. I
about.
know what it is. I watched that. So listen to the episode. I guess you could watch this podcast if there was more visuals.
Right. Yeah. So who know? I don't know. I don't know about that.
Uh, yeah, but like, it, it's uh, it's why I don't support any of this. I guess you could say I guess I kind of support a form of globalism or communism. These weird anti-human ideologies are driven out from the world. They really should. They're evil. They are objectively evil. Like
Yeah, but how do you go about doing that? It's fine to say
well,
that, but then
well,
what are
yeah,
the
that's the
steps
thing.
you take
That's
to?
like first you have to secure your nation, and then like a lot of
But
the
who does? What do you look at as you look into the future, and for your path, for your white supremacist views? How do you get your white supremacy to be the dominant power in America?
what I think, and this is how I view it. I think what we do is I take two approaches. I call it the triangular strategy. I'm going to pitch people on this. There's the group of people who let's call them the shit kickers, the people who are willing to do things that or Caggiano term, are movement's madmen. The madmen who we have, like, like how Sinn Fein had relations with the IRA. Wink wink, nudge nudge, we really don't know each other. And then we have our like movement types who, like, people like Patriot Front, who are like, this is what our activists. And then we have the people running for local office, and together we form a triangular strategy of all strategies working in tandem but separated enough so there's nothing you can do to them legally. And then
So why
also
hasn't that like happened yet?
uh I don't know. It's because it's my theory, and I really should make videos on how I view pool moving forward. And when I first started this channel, I tried to start like up activist stuff. I realized, like, okay, it's way too early for me to do that. And I do in the future plan on starting up groups. I'm not like I kind of do view myself kind of as a leader, but like not so much. But where we need to go. And I used to be part of monarchist groups, and then they all fell apart. So I'm like, I'll wait until I can. And then, like, when I first started, I was very immature about my beliefs. So I really think I need to develop them and write them down of what I want to do and what the platform would be.
Yeah, you're still maturing because it sounds like you got into this not too long ago. It's just this whole thought process. So
Well, I
it's
only
gonna be a
started this channel maybe a year ago, and I've been on the far right. I guess I was part of a few groups that fell apart. It's not important what they're called or what they were, because they're all dead and defunct anyways.
hmm.
So it doesn't matter. I'm not going to name them because there's no point talking about them, because they were small, not irrelevant, but like we didn't do much. So like, I think a few of them were on the SPLC hate map. So they were real groups, but it's just like we didn't do much. So
Right.
I think, and that's how I view doing it. There's that, and then there's the idea that you need to make this system function, not function. You need the federal government basically to make the functioning as hard as possible. So you do that strategy on the local level. You build your local, like as my friend likes to say, my group of friends that are all based in Red Pilled, uh, whatever you want to say. You build your tribe, and then you expand. You trust these people because you know them personally, and then you expand that tribe, and you use the triangular strategy of people willing to do things, and similar to what Antifa does, an infinity group. That's how we organize these different aspects of the triangle.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to find people that are willing to go to prison. Um,
Well, Yeah.
Yeah.
There's people who have nothing to lose, and the people who do have stuff to lose, and there's people who have every different part to play in the movement. And you find the people, and you say you people do what they are good at. Like that's why as I say, I don't disavow any violent action of anything, as long as it's not stupid action. It's just like the left won't, so I'm not going to. Fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
No,
the thing is, it's the same reason I do believe. I said I don't believe in secessionism. I don't, but I do as a political strategy. Just as a political strategy, I think the U.S. should be a whole 50 states. But I think for for some parts of the U.S. you can't save, and you're going to have to retreat into certain parts of the United States of America, fortify those areas, retreat, and then let those areas collapse and eventually take them back, similar to what the Spanish did during the Reconquista. So it's a long game. I don't think we're gonna solve it in my. It may take 100 years, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with my ideology. You know, people taking my books 100 years from now if we lead to victory. It doesn't bother me. The Reconquista what took like how long did it take? Like 300 years. It took a
uh,
while.
yeah. I'm not sure, but
But yeah, I'm
yeah.
not sure either. But like that's the point. Is this is a struggle, and we are going to be in the struggle for it may not even be our kids, it might be our children's children. There's this song about Rhodesia, but it should ring true. Once you're Rhodesian, no land will do, but we'll keep this possessions for our children's children's too. It's like we're fighting not for us, but for what we leave behind. For it was in for our prosperity, posterity, what we leave behind, our legacy. That's
So
what.
your first step should be to have children, I would say then.
Oh, I'm working on that.
Okay. You gotta start somewhere with it, right? You got grand goals that's spanning over a couple hundred years. First step is children.
I'll
Carry
find
on the
I'll
land.
find a nice Hispanic woman.
There you
Discover.
go.
I'm joking.
There
I'm
you
joking. I'm
go.
making the
There you
joke
go.
of all
Castizo it
white
up.
guys, all
Castizo it
white
up.
guys with Hispanic GFs.
Yeah. Well, it's
Oh,
like Asian girlfriends too. I mean,
no,
that
no,
was
that's
always a trend.
libertarians. Libertarians have Asian wives.
Yeah.
That
There's
you get learn the stereotype. It's like woke Mexican ladies who are getting railed by white soy boys. I've come up with a theory, and people are gonna. This is a real. The whole woke non-white woman is a mating strategy to get superior white men to be their husbands. They're gonna trash white women so they can get the white men to be their husbands. You ever think about that? You gotta think about it. It's a mating strategy.
is a mating strategy
Yeah.
to make white females woke.
No, to make them trash so they can get the white men to be with them, like the
Oh.
non-white women.
Oh, to make the non-white women be with the white men.
Yeah, like the what non-white women want the white men.
That's pretty calm. I don't know, but
No, no,
you
like
view
same.
the world in this heavy racial spectrum, so that might
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sense in your mind. I can't. I
It
don't
makes
think it's.
sense to me. CP.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty. If they got that much control of shit and that's their plans, and
Well,
they figured out they won
no,
already. If they're
uh,
playing it like not even
well,
a
no.
chess game, it's checkers to
Well,
them now. Shit.
it's. I make the joke. It's like woke in the streets, colonizer in the sheets. I mean, a lot of people have made that joke, but it's
Yeah.
true though. Like Ilan
Well, yeah,
Omar's
you see
married
the
to.
soy boys that are with like the squad
Yeah,
girls, right?
the
Yeah,
with the squad, like
yeah.
they're just trying to create the superior offspring.
But those are like those are pure soy boys. That's like they're not getting real men.
Well,
Um,
they don't, they just want the white genes. They're gonna raise the kids to be whatever they want.
yeah.
Like that's the thing.
So monarchist white supremacy in America. That's
Monarchist Anglo supremacism,
Anglo supremacy. Well, every good Anglo knows the only when we say white, we're only talking about the Anglos. Um,
which is funny because I'm not even. I don't even think I'm mainly Dutch, Slavic, and
look at
Irish.
you. Oh, that's even sadder.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Okunshurikyo, what he said about the Dutchmen. They
No, what
run
did
the
he say?
world. You never heard it's the Dutch question.
It's the
Where'd
Dutch
banking
question.
start? Where'd
Yeah,
banking start?
yeah.
Amsterdam. It's
Amsterdam. Yeah,
us
they had their
Dutch.
golden age. They had their golden age. Yeah.
Yeah, the Dutchmen want revenge for the tulips. We will have revenge on the Anglos for the tulips.
Well, I got about 30 minutes more I can go until I have to get off. And
Okay, that's usually how long we go is 3 hours, so 30 minutes more. So besides a bunch of shit posting, do you have any questions for me?
um, yeah. So outside of your ideology, how do you see America playing out in, let's say, the next 10 years? What are we looking at with the
Uh,
way things look right now?
Uh, I think someone said it, but we're in a low like civil war brewing. I think we're heading in that direction, really.
What is your civil war? Is it racial or is it political? Is it red
It's a
state,
mi-
blue
it's a
state?
mix of both. Like I think it's going to be mostly on racial lines because the Republican base is mainly
But it'll be red state, blue state kind of fight, you're
Yeah, but
saying.
that is still racial. Like
It's yeah, largely yes, yes.
yeah, like it's going to be. Let's see, like there's going to be like use like the let's call them the MAGA men because I always thought that was a cool term for militia, the MAGA men.
Right.
And then we're gonna have like the MAGA man that might be like the blacks, the respectable blacks, as you would say, like
It'll
normal,
be 80% white thing with 20% Asian,
like
black, Hispanic, whatever. Yeah.
Filipino. I know
Yeah.
a lot of
Oh,
I
Filipinos a lot out here too. They're very conservative. People
yeah,
would be
like a lot.
surprised.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Filipino,
Duarte. I
the
mean,
Fi-
they love
Andrew.
Duarte.
Oh yeah, Duarte is awesome. I like that guy. I agree with him on drug dealers. Fuck. But yeah, I see it going in
So you
that.
think we're going civil war? I think you're way like
Well, I don't think
expecting
we're
too much.
Well, I don't
Expecting
think
like
we're going civil war. I think we're heading in that direction. We're seeing low level street violence. We're not like maybe like full on armies fighting armies, but like maybe like the years of lead or like Weimar Germany, kind of like Freikorps, small skirmishes, stuff like that. Not like full like white versus red army type, but like more on
right.
along those lines. Uh, yeah, that's why
So
I
you
see
see
it.
political violence breaking out on
I
like I
see it
said,
getting worse. I don't think it's going to get any better. I think there's going to be like there already is more random bombings, stabbings. Like there was someone who blew up a drag queen story hour place that they was going to
where did this
host.
happen?
Uh, that's why I got to follow all the siege targets because they have all the scoops. They always they always have the reports on it. That's why I get it.
You
And
would
they like
think something like that though would be all over the place because it fits the narrative of
Well, I think it fits the narrative, but another thing is it shows fear and it puts fear in the heart of these pedophiles, these groomers. It makes them afraid. I'm not going to say I don't. I mean, I guess I don't support violence, but like it makes it. They don't want to feel like the right is actually willing to like use violence now. Like I think the right is getting to that point. And my co-host actually has a good article where he talks about like when the right gets violent and we are heading in that direction. Like you go to your local, like the boomer watering holes, and they'll talk about like Boogaloo or like Civil War, and like that's just like shit we were only saying. Like that was fringes of the fringe, even in like 2018.
mhm.
And
I'm
I
seeing
think,
nothing on this place being bombed. I'm looking. I'm trying to
uh,
find this. That'd be
hold on,
very interesting. Like,
hold on,
was it a club?
I think it was like a donut shop. Let me just send you the article where they link to it.
Yeah,
I, I, I,
donut
I
shop.
Yeah, there's like big donut shops. You never been to like a good donut shop?
But what does that got to do with like
Well, they were hosting a drag queen story
at a
hour.
donut shop? What
Look,
the hell?
what do I look like? The guy who let's see. I think yes, I follow every. Let's see, where was this? This was a few weeks ago. Uh, No, that's about the Taliban throwing homosexuals off rooftops. I've
Yeah.
this is why people think I'm a federal, like with the Fed posting. It's because like it just it's I'm not trying to be like I
Well, you do, if someone does want to pay attention, you could fuck yourself. You
I
could.
don't care.
You
I mean, I
will
guess
if you fuck yourself over simple words. You will care then. I
you
mean,
know
it's
what?
not an honorable thing to go down for, you know.
Hey,
Talking, that's not like talking about violence online
hey,
is
I'm not. Who
pretty
says?
low thing to go down for. It's like a coward's
Yeah,
way to
yeah. I
go
guess
down.
I guess I should. I probably message you the
Yeah,
article.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, but
Holy shit.
that's where I see we're heading is like stuff like that becoming more and more frequent, and us heading towards that. Not I don't think we're very like close to like people like forming the MAGA men or the I don't know what the left would be. Infinite infighting about who is the most woke. That would be funny to watch though, like what the left would form as the militias.
The military. I mean, the military, the
I
CIA,
know
the
I know plenty of
FBI.
former military. They are not liberals. Active
They're not
duty, like
liberals, but they're going to follow orders. I
no,
mean,
like
these people aren't
you
going to.
might get like the lieutenants and like
Right.
the like
This link has
the
nothing to do with a bombing. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I would have heard of
uh
um,
it's
them being
I think
targeted.
it's somewhere on the American Futures Observer. They did a report on it.
So
Uh
that's the thing with the Civil War. It's like there's a presence of the military and the police, and it's like
well well
to get a breakdown to where you get the
well
police
no
to like turn down a
I
paycheck. It's gonna be
no, I think we're going
gonna
to.
get pretty bad.
It's like the U.S. is mainly rural. It's very hard to enforce things. I'm not saying like we're gonna have like white versus white armies. I think we're just gonna continue seeing like what we saw, more and more random bombings, more and more random shooting, lone wolf stuff like that. I think
Eh,
that's where we're heading, and you can see that like even with like how they are now going after Trump is they're now switching from soft totalitarianism to a hard totalitarianism. And certain states, so there will be governors who are elected who just say no. I mean, there might like who I mean DeSantis is clearly a shill, but like as a
mhm.
gesture, he would say no, 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 you're not coming to my state. You're not coming to my state, and you will continuously get people more and more radicalized and angry and pissed off. And we especially with where their economy is about to
Well,
collapse.
that
Like,
that's what depends on a lot on how
yeah,
much things accelerate. Is what's the economy going to look like the next 5 years? Yeah.
it's collapsing. Like you cannot contain. Like I'm not
But I've
an
heard this
ex.
before. Remember, I've heard this economy has collapsed numerous times. I think we can print ourselves out of
Oh
anything,
no, I
and
know we can. Like inflation, if you
yeah,
look at it, is out of control. It's
yeah.
it's it's getting to that level where we're gonna have massive inflation. We're
I
also
don't
gonna
know
have
how people are surviving now. I know how we're living paycheck to paycheck.
like
I don't know how the
I'm
hell people are surviving even right now.
oh,
It's
like I've been struggling a bit. Like I save up a lot of money, but like I've had a few times where I've got my bank account pretty low in the past like few
mhm.
months. Like I don't know how
Oh, we've
some
been
people.
overdrawn like literally the past 2 months, and it's like overdrawn every fucking paycheck, and it's just I'm like, how
Well,
the
yeah,
fuck? And we
people.
were pretty decent too, so it's like I don't even know how people worse off than us are getting by.
Oh, yeah, I like yeah, and that's the whole thing. Is like uh
So yeah, I think the economy dictates a lot
yeah,
of
it does.
what
Like
it's going to look like.
I
Yeah,
think we are going into a major financial collapse because we have the perfect storm of massive inflation. We have all these bottlenecks caused by COVID. Unless someone
it feels
drastically,
like it. Yeah, it feels like we're heading that way.
yeah,
I don't see how it's magically just gonna
yeah, well,
change
that's what's
course.
going. People are going to start because when people are like happy and financially stable, they're less willing to be radical about their beliefs. But
Hmm.
that's where I see it going is that we're gonna see the U.S. implode on itself in the next 5 to 10 years. I mean, I think the 2024 election is going to be fucking volatile. Like, I
Well, it
think
is.
it's
I'm afraid of though, like with all this discontent, like you get another Trump, you get another
I
astroturf thing, and
well,
people
I
flock to it still. That's always that fear.
I don't think because even with Trump, like Trump has no way of fixing the economy. There is no way of fixing the economy without massive like things that would be really unpleasant to the average American because you need to cut spending. You need to basically say we don't have money for this. We do not have money for any of this. Like we don't have money to like we cannot keep raising the debt ceiling, especially with the COVID. That and like I think it's a planned demolition of the economy so they can buy everything up for cheap. That's my tinfoil hat being put on there for a
Hmm.
bit. But
I mean, it is what BlackRock has and Vanguard has essentially done,
well,
right?
yeah, but the thing is, the reason I think the mistake is the U.S. is like heavily fucking armed. It's like there's enough small arms in the U.S. to supply a pretty decent insurgent force. And the thing is, people aren't going to just take the bread and circuses and all this stuff lying down. I think those like we saw with the farmer protests. Imagine that in the like when people start starving in the US and you're like, "Oh, we have no food, but we've got a fuckload of guns." And that's what you're going to see. You're going to see more and more of that. We need another powder keg. If you look at like the War of the Roses, do you know what the US has a fuckload of?
Hmm.
Angry, military trained, disillusioned young men. America has about, I think it's like 24 million something veterans. So you have 24 million potential recruits for any group
Hmm.
who are fucked over. The Veterans Affairs, like I have friends who are veterans and they are fucked, but like the VA is disgusting. It's so gross. Like, I thought about joining the military pretty recently, and all my friends said don't. I got out and they're like, ugh, I can't stand it. Like just the stories I hear of like just
Well,
it's
now you gotta get the jab too, so it
it's
makes it even
well, I had to get that for work.
for work. Yeah, but
Well, I quit that
you got to
job.
get boosters too. Like, are they
No, I
keeping up?
refused. I basically quit that job because of that. I should have quit it because of the job,
You
but I
took the
couldn't.
jab, but okay, but not
Yeah,
the
yeah,
boosters.
look,
Okay.
I'm gonna be on. People can say what they will, but my principles, I couldn't. I couldn't afford to be homeless.
No, that's fucking yeah. But that's what sucks about the whole thing is
You're like,
people like you were forced. That's what sucks about the whole thing.
yeah, basically. I mean, it's a very personal thing, so I don't want to get into it. So
Yeah, yeah. That's fine.
Eh, and it's all and the thing is, we're gonna continue getting that. It's because the economy is gonna collapse, and we have a bunch of people. We have the perfect powder keg. The economy's collapsing. We have if the Gib train stops happening in some of these neighborhoods, those people are going to chimp out. They're going to go
Hmm.
to the people who have money, the rich blacks. I mean, the suburbs that are rich white, they're just rich black people, rich Mexicans, a lot of rich white, like middle class white people. They're not going to stand for it. Have you ever seen like what happened in the white militia type with Hurricane Katrina?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what's going to happen when the economy starts collapsing. And then we have a very contentious election coming up. So it's
24 could be very interesting.
I mean,
Yeah, for that
why are we
election.
saying interesting? It's going to be horrible. A lot of people might die. Why are we
Mm.
saying that's interesting? That's horrible. I
I mean,
don't want that to happen. I don't want
I
to
don't know
think
if that will happen though.
like
I don't
that's
know
the
if it's going that far that
it
fast.
will. It will. Like we saw we saw that there wouldn't be just mobs burning random shit down. Like we saw that in like 2016, but like nationwide, there was whole cities put to the torch, and no one did shit. Like they didn't go to the suburbs. I don't give two fucks if Democrats, but I'm like not like Republicans, but it's the truth. The people whose cities were burnt down don't agree with this anyway. So I don't feel bad. I mean, I do feel bad for them because they're human beings and they're my fellow, as much as the my as much as the shit bags. I don't support people and women and children being burnt alive in their homes and their businesses destroyed. It's horrible. But they voted for that, but
Mm-hmm.
we saw that and no one did anything. But
Mm-hmm.
you also see videos of just like, like good old boys like, yeah, keep walking, which is like ARs strapped to their hips, like
Yeah,
they're
there's plenty of videos of people coming out of their neighborhoods,
like,
just
yeah,
lined up.
keep
Yep.
walking.
Yep.
You're in the wrong neighborhood, boy.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's always with how these riots have always
Well,
worked out. You wonder what happens.
what
That's the
happens?
line that
What
hasn't been
happens when we
crossed.
have the next riot? Let's say in 23, and the
Uh-huh.
economy is shit.
No, no. What happens when they go to the suburbs? That's when.
That's when. That like
Yeah,
that
that's when it
is
gets
when
interesting, as I would
when there
say.
starts being a pitched like gun battle, and let's say in the suburbs of Philadelphia, which is Devon, nice area. I used to live in Devon.
Dude,
I don't.
Philadelphia, I watched those videos online where the guy just goes through like the drug district of Philadelphia. I mean,
Oh
this
yeah.
is sad to see an American city.
Oh
Like,
yeah. Yeah. That's
that is crazy shit
Oh
going
yeah,
on
yeah.
over there.
That's a. I forget what that is exactly. I built like I built condos in like in these areas. I'm like, these dumb. I was like, these dumb motherfucking white liberals and rich minority liberals are gonna get robbed. There's like
Yeah,
crack. Like
it's
you walk like 3 blocks from this like this $1 million. Like these were like $1 million condos. They weren't nice condos, by the way. They were shitty condos.
but location gives it its price because it's in the
Yeah.
city.
Well, I don't know why. It's because New York got too expensive. Hey, I'm responsible for gentrifying like at least a few blocks of Philadelphia. People can say, me and all the Mexicans I was working, we were committing white supremacy, especially the Mexicans I was working with.
Yeah.
They're all white supremacists. They're not white supremacists. They're just generally nice family men. Don't,
But no,
but
you
like,
see the decay in places like
yeah,
Philadelphia, and
I
yeah,
walk around Philadelphia and I'm like wearing like my hard hat and I'm like, we just built new condos and we were literally in the ghetto and this building's collapsing like
yeah,
4 blocks from where we just built shit. I was like, this is not healthy. This is not a
yeah.
functioning society. And then I see the economy collapsing and really welfare keeps like the non-whites. I'm not trying. Why I'm saying not trying to be white supremacist. I
I
just
thought
said
you
I
were a white
was.
supremacist.
I
Yeah,
am, but like there's like a time
I'm
and a
rubbing
place.
off on you.
Okay, yeah, there's like there's me being a white supremacist, and then there's just being unnecessarily crude. Like
Yeah,
like there's like I'm like a high class like white supremacist.
yeah.
I'm
You're
not.
not wishing death on anyone. You're just, yeah.
I'm
I
just
get
like.
what you're saying. It's sad to see it. I agree.
But
Um,
we have
yeah.
like we basically pay these feral like dregs of society, which and like people that we just perpetually not to be fooled, Dinesh D'Souza or like uh Thomas Sowell. We basically keep in open air like
Open air
open
prison.
well, not like open air prisons, but like basically open air. He'll keep this money. Here's your protection money for not acting as criminal as you could act, not like burning this whole fucking the rest of the city down. It's
Yeah.
basically that's what welfare has become. It's become a protection racket for the parasites of society. In exchange, they live in squalor, but they're the voting cattle. They're essentially N-word cattle for the it's there's a lot of truth to the Democrats and the plantation, but there's truth to that. It's
Oh
not
yeah, there is.
like, but I'm not going to really feel bad for them because they still vote for the people. You made your bed and not lie in it. But what I see back to the point of the economy collapsing is we eventually like when the economy starts like inflation hits like maximum amount, we can't afford to pay that anymore, and those people will riot, and they will not stop until they get to the people who have money. And I was in Philadelphia in those riots, but like I was in like the more like working class, middle class part where I was living. So most of those people like there's some BLM signs. It's more like we've got jobs, so shut the fuck up. We have work in
Mm-hmm.
the morning. That's
Mm-hmm.
kind of the spots we
Mm-hmm.
marched through that day. It was like, shut the fuck up. People have jobs, you fucking lazy bums.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there is, and I think any civil discontent will come through those two crowds like that, the working class essentially
Well, like,
against the parasites
well,
of.
that's where I see like where that's where we're going is going to happen. We're going to run out of Gibbs money
Mhm,
when the economy starts collapsing because we do need to cut these programs. We can't afford to pay these. We can't afford the ridiculous military budget. We can't afford these stupid subsidies. We need to we need to get the US debt under fucking control, or else our currency is going to be worth nothing. And
mhm.
everyone's going like the rich, super rich are going to get super rich, but we're going to have a fucking shitstorm ahead of us. But okay, I don't know. You got like 10 more minutes. Do you have any more questions?
Um, 2024. What do you think about? Let's talk about Trump and DeSantis and yay.
Uh, DeSantis anybody who supports DeSantis, you're stupid as fuck. He's the most astroturf. He's more astroturf than your average football stadium.
Comes from Navy intelligence. Everyone should always be aware of that. Anytime someone comes from any military intelligence, becomes a politician, it's very interesting. As I would say, you pay
I
attention to
should
that.
I should tell my
Um,
friend who used to be former military intelligence. I don't trust you.
you probably should. You probably should. Then He's probably grooming you to go do something crazy. Watch out.
No,
Watch
no,
out, man. Don't listen to his ideas, please.
no. He's like a libertarian who just like he just like hangs out, just drinks.
I bet he does. I bet he hangs out a lot.
Okay,
Listening.
look, look, but yeah, like DeSantis is the most obvious like astroturf.
But you think Trump's not?
I mean, I don't really care. Like Trump's a '90s Democrat. He will always be a 1990s, 1980s Democrat, and
Mhm.
people need to realize that that's what he believes. He's not. I don't think he's disingenuous. That's just what he believes. He campaigned on what he believed in. Like that,
Uh,
he's a '90s Democrat.
yeah, he had some populism talking
Yeah, he
points, I
had
think,
some
added
populist
on.
talk, but so did '90s Democrats. Ross Perot was the same way. He stole his platform from Ross Perot, and that's
Mhm.
what Trump is. He's a '90s Democrat, and you like but ultimately he's more and more anti-establishment than DeSantis. Like it's the same reason with like the current red why there wasn't a red wave. It was the Republican leadership pulling all this money from key races. They did that on purpose.
Mhm,
They
and they did, like, really stupid things, strategically. Lindsey Graham saying, "We're gonna make abortion illegal throughout the whole country federally," and they're like, "Why would you say that before midterm? You're a moron."
Yeah,
It's like,
say that
yeah,
after do that after midterms.
yeah, I mean, you don't say that right before midterm, and it doesn't
Yeah.
even pass, no one even cares about it, but it was a news headline for, a week, 2 weeks,
Well,
and
they did it on purpose. It was
yeah,
completely
yeah,
they
looks
wanted
like it.
to throw a monkey wrench in the midterms.
It looks like it, yeah.
They
So,
did.
but who do you think wins though? Not who do you like better? Who do you think wins head up? Like just looking at the Republican scene now, and
Trump.
you think Trump still beats
Yeah, I think
DeSantis?
DeSantis, like once they get on the debate stage, Trump will whip
That's
in.
where he'll get him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he will fucking just eviscerate DeSantis. Like Trump, like to beat Trump, you need to basically like. I mean, I like Tucker Carlson. He's not going to run in 2024, but Tucker Carlson could rip Trump apart because Tucker Carlson could like honestly have a belief system. And he's like he would beat Trump as like the presentable version of Trump, the like
Hmm.
Trump without
Well,
like
that's what
the
they're presenting DeSantis
but
as.
but but DeSantis like DeSantis I don't think has the wit of like Carlson or like like you get that like style and like comeback
Yeah.
from being in TV. That's where Trump gets it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like he's an entertainer. He knows how to work a crowd. Like so does
Yes, he does.
Carlson. Like
Yes, he does.
Carlson Trump is like he's WWE. That's where he gets it from. I mean,
Yep.
honestly, if you wanted, Vince McMahon could go up against Trump.
Oh hell yeah! Vince
Like
McMahon would probably win, president of this
I
country.
would totally vote for
I would
President
totally
McMahon.
vote for him. Evil
Let's
Vince,
get rid.
possibility of a heel
Sure.
turn as president. Let's go. Yeah.
Like McMahon, Hulk Hogan, 2024.
Fuck it. We're
Right on,
idiocracy. We're
brother.
there, baby. Yeah. It's
It's like Hogan, like Hulk Hogan like, you see this Kamala Harris, I'm gonna suplex her, bad woman, very
Bad woman,
nasty. Right on, brother.
yeah, no, it is all the voting public is wrestling fans, WWE. The whole thing is like pro wrestling, politics,
I mean,
the fans, the crowds, the voters.
I mean,
But,
like, it's like that's the thing that Hitler did well. He knew how to work a crowd.
oh
He
yeah,
knew how to, like Codron knew how to
Mussolini, yeah.
like Mussolini, Rockwell even knew
Mhm.
how to work a crowd.
Mhm.
Like Rockwell, like you got to know how to work the crowd. Like you got to whip them into a frenzy. You can't just go out like Fuentes does not know how to work a crowd at all. Like he kind of does, but not like Jared. Like I don't know.
Jared Taylor definitely does not know how to
He
work
doesn't
a
know how to
crowd
work
at
a.
all.
He's like more like he's more like the calm intellectual. He's really good at just like
Yeah.
being really calm and presentable. He's like, you see, I don't think
Mhm.
it's much about the weather. I was like, he's like, he's like a quick-witted like intellectual that you bring out. Like he's
Yeah.
like he's a good sidekick.
He's getting up there in age. He's got to
Oh
be now,
no,
right?
Jared Taylor will live forever. He has the Who White. He has that Who White.
White, yeah, the
Yeah,
white
like
jeans.
he's also ripped. If you see like the video of him doing like the those push-ups, he
No,
is
is he?
ripped. Yeah, he's
Good
like
for him.
fucking jacked. Like Jared
Good on
Taylor
him.
is jacked. He's like fully jacked. But yeah, it's for like Trump DeSantis. Like Trump will rip DeSantis like the debate stage. He
So
would be
DeSantis is winning the polls, but I think you're right. I think once it
like no,
becomes
once
debate
like
time,
Trump on the
yeah,
debate stage is
yeah,
just vicious. Like
yeah.
especially like Trump is a vicious, especially in primary season. Oh, that's when Trump he goes like full WWE. It's like, are you ready to rumble? Like that's where Trump got it. Trump,
So does Ye run as Republican or independent then?
if he wants a chance of winning, he wants Republican or
So can you
Democrat.
imagine a debate stage with Trump
Or
and
Democrat,
Kanye
or
West on it?
Democrat. I could see
Fucking
Ye.
clown
Like
world.
honestly, Ye should run as a Democrat. He probably have an easier time winning the primary.
Oh yeah, you know what? Against Biden? Oh
Yeah,
my
they'd be like,
God, yeah.
what is he gonna say? Like, is he gonna call? Is he gonna just? I mean, I think Biden would fully lose it and just go, this Sambo needs to get off
Yep.
my
Reminds me
stage.
of Billy Corn Pop. Yeah.
Billy Corn Pop, like, just I think just like a lot of those people. I mean, I'm a white supremacist, but I'm open about it. Those people are such closeted white supremacists. Like, you think they actually want those people around them? No, fuck no.
No, well, that's why they live in the neighborhoods they live
Oh
in,
yeah, like
and
Kamala
yeah.
Harris probably says like the most like if you had like a private message, like those private people's groups, yeah, like they're like, you know, they dress up in blackface in private. Like, they probably still have the blackface parties.
Mhm. Yeah, no, it's all hypocrisy.
It
That's
is.
what's most disgusting about it. It's
Well,
obvious hypocrisy in your
yeah,
face.
and that's where I see it. Like if Ye wants to win, he's got to run. He's a Republican. I'd say Democrats is best bet. And as for like, I don't know who else is running in the Republican primary. I guess Jeff Flake. Yeah,
Well, outside of DeSantis and Trump, I don't even think it matters.
it doesn't matter. We might have, Jeb could run as a Democrat or Flake. Honestly, I could see Jeb winning the Democratic nominee.
Jeb Bush?
Yeah, honestly, running as a Democrat, I think he could beat
Probably. I mean, this voting
Biden. Like
public,
anybody
man.
could beat Biden in the primaries at this point.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like you could beat Biden in the primaries. I think someone on the far right should run as a Democrat, run in the Democratic party primary. It'd be funny. It would be legitimately a good way of trolling them and getting our message out
Yeah,
there.
I don't even know. Can you run? Is there a Democrat primary when the Democrat's
Yeah,
president? Don't
there's been primaries where the incumbent was not the nominee. It's
when
not like
it has
unheard
been a
of. You
long
can
time since that
Yeah,
happened.
yeah, you can fully run CT 2024 Democratic demo. We could call it
Well, I'm
Demo.
sure the Democratic Party will give me money and support me and
Well,
everything.
no, you just get you be like better than Sanders. Like I call it Democratic National Socialism.
Yeah. There's a
Democratic.
difference.
There's difference. Social nationalism.
Yeah, social. That's what I always like saying. So, what are you? I'm kind of a socialist and a nationalist, you know? Or no? Yeah.
No, there actually is a party in like Syria called the Social Nationalists. Like it's a
Yeah.
real political party. Like there's a legitimate. There actually is like legitimate political thought.
I don't think they're around
No,
anymore.
no, they still are.
Are they still around?
Yeah, they're still around. There's also this one party. It's the same reason I back Armenia versus the Armenian Karabakh is legitimately there's actual National Socialists that hold political power in Armenia. I get bored, CT, and just start looking through all these like random Nazi affiliated groups. Like, Wikipedia is inaccurate, but it gives like it has a lot of
It could
like
put you on the path, right?
yeah, it puts you
To
on the
look
past.
into
Like,
stuff.
holy shit, I never knew that existed. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's where I see it. Like I see Trump. The Republican primary is Trump. If he runs as a Republican, I could see him maybe putting a dent. But like Yee's best chance of actually having a good run at the presidency would be running as a Democrat.
Yeah. And the only reason that'd work for him is he's gonna have attention and some money.
Oh no, he'll have the
Yeah.
black vote. Like he'll legitimately Biden cannot like they're like, oh, he's black, I'm black.
That would be interesting to
You
see
know, like
what.
he would legitimately just
No,
destroy.
because all the black churches would say vote Biden, so it's like it
Yeah,
would
but like
be.
they like blacks view racism are more racially conscious than whites are in this country. So they're like, oh, he's black, I'm black.
I don't know. They're throwing them under the bus. A lot of them are for
Well,
anti-Semitism.
well, look, they keep Louis Farrakhan around at like Democratic Party functions.
Oh, does he show up to those?
Yeah, he
Does he
still
still
shows
get
up
in?
to those. Like,
Okay.
like Louis Farrakhan, they have to like there's like Obama has a photo with him. Like the Black Caucus meets with this guy. There's like legitimately a lot of black anti. There's probably
Yep.
more black anti-Semites.
Obama had to get approved though to have his meeting with him, so he still had to go to the rabbis and be
Oh
like,
well, no, I think this was back when he was a senator.
"Oh, before he was president."
Yeah, this is before he's president. Like even during his president, Obama surrounded himself with like Farrakhan types. Like Obama legitimately did have a lot of weird communist black
He did,
ties.
but you remember his preacher, and I got to wrap it up after this. His preacher was ranting against Zionism and white supremacism and all this. And Jeremiah, what was his name? But they cut him off from his preacher. He wasn't allowed to speak to that guy anymore because of his anti-Semitism. Jeremiah something.
Yeah,
I forget his name, but yeah. Anyways, it's they're all controlled once they're in there. It's like Obama's not whatever he really personally believes, whatever Trump
he,
personally believes or Bush personally believes. Like none of that's going to
Bush rapes
dictate who they are.
Bush fly rapes kids at Lulu on that island.
Epstein's Island, yeah.
Yeah, Bush, and then the whole Bush family. It's like the Koch brothers' dad. Like the Koch brothers' dad was this base like Nazi sympathizer, and they're gay.
Mm-hmm.
And like
Funny how that happened.
it's like it's like they like he wanted to raise them to be like Nazis and shit. And I'm like, it's lame.
Yeah, that totally backfired on him.
Yeah, they became like your father. If your father could see you guys, he'd be embarrassed. He'd be like, I fucking hate those dirty Jews. Why are you hanging out with Jews? Faggotry. I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Didn't one of them? There's one Koch left, right? One of them died.
Oh yeah, one of them is burning. Well, I'm not allowed. Orthodoxy. We believe it's spirit. I'm not gonna get into it. Let's just say he's in hell. He's in hell with John McCain.
There you go. There you go. Perfect bedmate for him.
Yeah. He can be in hell with John McCain. Who else died recently? That one asshole who helped orchestrate the Iraq War. That
Who?
general. One of the generals. I forget his name.
Swartz? Was it him?
Yeah, I think one of them died recently.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Colin Powell, right?
Yeah, Colin Powell.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colin Powell.
Rabid Rab is right. Yes, he did. It was a political move to go to that church. Yes.
Yeah. But I got nothing else. I'll see you later. CT, you want to shill some stuff?
Yeah, just check out New Frontier on YouTube and New Frontier USA.org online. And that is it, man. Thank you, loyalists. Great conversation. Cheers, everybody.